Alrighty, welcome to Romera Records podcast. Today we have on
Krisiz to the J-A-Y. Krisiz Jay, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
Alrighty, so what have you been up to, man? Like I thought it was crazy that how we found each other, and I was like, I've never heard of this guy, and he's in my town, so I've got to figure out what he's doing right now.
That was a crazy meetup on Twitter for everybody. That was crazy. It's been a lot that I've been up. It's been a lot that I've been up to lately. Corona kind of, she kind of deterred a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But most recently, I've just been in the studio working on my second album, Worldwide Crisis. Been trying to, get that finished and put together. Just trying to work around, live shows and stuff like that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is the guy who I was talking about in the Met Montreal podcast. What happened? Somebody reposted me, and you were like, "Yo, you're in Memphis?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in." Like you DM'd me. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was like, "You're in Memphis?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in Memphis." Like, oh, it was Ryan. It was
no, it wasn't Ryan.
Brian.
It was some random person. They had asked people to plug their music.
That's right.
And then you had liked mine, and I went to your page. And then I was like, "Oh, he's in Memphis." I was like, "You in Memphis?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dang, that's crazy."
Well, this is my weird city.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a crazy meetup, and I'm glad for it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
That was wild. I try to make connections like that mainly on Instagram. That's what I'm on the most. But it's difficult, honestly.
Oh yeah,
like
Gram it's all for showing off. To be honest,
Yeah.
Like when I look at it, all I see is like the after of everything that you're doing. As far as like music, or if you work on cars, or just whatever your space is. That's mainly for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really big into like connecting with people and building a big network. So that's just what I'm into, is being able to meet people and connect with them, and then build a big network. So that way, if I need somebody for anything, if I'm trying to build a huge network of artists. That way, like, if I need a certain singer on a song, or if I need a certain rapper, like, I've got it because I know all these people.
Right.
So, by the way, I've been listening to your music. It's really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How many songs have you done with Ryan?
I just climbed out of the studio with him. Actually, like I think it was like a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
Like no
nice.
joke. We had just did I think it was a 3 or 4 song session in like 2 hours.
Okay.
So I'm moving, trying to get through. I told you, trying to get through this second album.
Yeah.
I say T-Pain said it best. You'll make 100 songs trying to get 20 for one album, and that's no joke. Like that is no joke. I swear,
funny.
I've written more songs this second go round for this album than I thought was physically possible. And it's all types of vibes and everything else. So it's like, man, you never know what you're gonna finally come together and get until it's all said and done. So.
Yeah. I mean, so how long would you say it usually takes you to make a song? Like you writing the song, not like,
if we're not adding anything extra, or if it's just me writing a song, I would say it wouldn't take me any more than a full day, honestly. It has to be done within a day, because at that point when I try to, keep it going for too long, I feel like I'm forcing it. So at that point, it's like, okay, I have an idea. Okay, I'm going through a heartbreak. Okay, cool. Do I have anybody for production? Okay, boom. Let's find out, what's the melody to the song. Okay, boom. Now let's find some words to, get it down. And once that happens, boom.
So you feed off like the momentum.
I do.
Off the energy of that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some people, I'll hear that they've been working on, maybe a song or like a few songs for like a year. I'm just like,
I mean, some of those people are perfectionists though.
Yeah.
And I feel them on that, because you don't want to just put anything out, because there's a lot of that, and that makes it hard for the actual good artist to actually be heard. So, I feel them on that. But at the same token, you shouldn't take 3 years for 2 songs. You just shouldn't. That's just my personal opinion. And I know a lot of people that, no, I want my song right. Well, if your song's not right within the first 12 months, I doubt it's going to be ready in the next 12.
That's how I feel. And I was actually talking to my homeboy Leak about that, and I was like, okay, so he has a kid, and I'm just like, if it took you, let's say it took you 2 years to do an album.
Right.
Your kid is now 2 years old.
Right.
Like you're in completely different stages of life.
Like.
So, so that album I mean, from whatever your first song was to the last song,
it's completely different.
Yeah.
Because when you first started out, the baby wasn't even here yet. Now the baby's here, walking, talking, it's doing a whole lot. So now it's like, okay, what kind of space do you find yourself in now? Or do you still have the same hunger, drive? Is it different? So no, I feel them, because for my first album, that's how it was. It did take a while. After my first daughter was born, it took a second, because she was in my lap the entire time I was writing it. I was carrying her, she was listening to the music. She started walking to the songs that I was making. So I feel them, but I didn't want it to take forever.
Yeah.
You can't take forever on certain things. Now if you finish it, or if you have at least half of the the product done, then you can, that's when you invite a collaboration to me.
Yeah.
If you feel like it needs something else or someone else, then okay, let's reach out to so and so. That's why when you say you're building a great network of artists, that's actually a really, really cool idea. So I like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's why I really I reach out to so many like different kinds of artists, because there's people I know that play piano, and I want to be able to just, create those kind of songs with them. And I'm a huge fan of that. I'm not going to say old school hip hop, but like I guess classical, you know what I mean? Like those Jay-Z and Nas type beats. Like I love that kind of stuff. I've actually figured out I'm a huge New York person. I don't know
East
why.
Coast vibe. East Coast vibe. That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. The East Coast, they have a really, really unique sound. So
they do. Like I love people like J. Cole, Nas, Jay-Z, and I'm from the South. I'm from Alabama, but it's weird. Like if I could be from anywhere and have that kind of accent, it would be like a Brooklyn, New York type.
It'd have to be Queens.
Yeah, I love like that 50 Cent and Pop Smoke type sound. Like I just like those guys, how they rap and their style, stuff like that. And two of my favorite rappers, I would say, are. Three actually would be Nas, 50 Cent, and A$AP Rocky.
Hey.
Like those three guys are some of my favorite rappers. And New York.
All of New York, all of them. For me, I think it's more of a mixed breed because of the way that I kind of grew up. Because the way that I kind of gathered my style was who did I listen to the most, or who was I more drawn to. And I started out listening to, shout out to New York, I started listening to like Linkin Park, which is weird. I was like 8 years old listening to Linkin Park. And that was because of my big brother, he loved that East Coast stuff. So I was like, okay, take a listen to that. Then my sister got me into Kanye West, and, my cousins was like, they were on 3 6 Mafia, Yo Gotti. So I had such a mix. It was crazy. But as the years went by, I started to gravitate more towards people like, J. Cole and Andre 3000, more lyricists, if you will, So, of course, Jay and Nas. So that's where I started to just pick myself up from, listening to them, studying them, how they, word things and how they, can be clever, or they can just feed it to you straight. Like, it is what it is. But that's kind of where I got it from. So.
And it's crazy. Like, I was listening to one of my friends. We were talking about, people, how they rap and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, you can tell who somebody's favorite rapper is just by listening to them rap.
Yep.
And I was like, that's crazy.
Nah, it's true, because my DJ 2 Times, shout out to him, he literally just said that today. No lie. He was like, look, I know that you have been studying Cole just a little too much, because I could tell where you caught them last 8 bars from. I said, oh, wow, you're funny.
Yeah, man. It's awesome, though, just like picking up those different things from people. And one thing that I've really been working on myself is like my delivery, because I've realized, especially in rap nowadays, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's true.
And if you just listen to how some of the people who are at the top, how they say stuff, you're like, oh, that's why I like this song. They just made it sound good. Like, it doesn't matter what they said. And freaking Drake is the epitome of that. Like that 2C slide.
Oh Lord, he was he was a great marketing. He had a great marketing coach.
Oh yeah,
shout out to whoever his marketing team is, because that was on point.
Yeah,
he was not trying to go for a hit. He was just trying to make sure that y'all kept dancing to make him relevant. And I love that. But yes, Drake does do that a lot. It's not how it's not what he says, it's literally how he says it. Because on certain songs, you're like, man, I felt that. Even though he really didn't say much.
Yeah.
He could just be like, oh, I went downstairs to get some juice. I felt that. Like, I felt that. Like, I'm thirsty now. Let me go get some. So, but delivery, yes, I've been working on delivery as well, too. Because you literally can't just say anything anymore. It's how you deliver it. And if you deliver it wrong, just like with a package to Amazon, guess what?
Yep.
Somebody's going to steal it.
Yep. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I've heard this in like the music business. They say, if you're afraid that somebody's going to steal your style, then you probably don't have a good enough style. Yeah. And
no, wait a minute now. There, Kanye West kind of bit Kid Cudi a little bit.
Oh, you think so?
808s and Heartbreak. You got to look at it. I was like, man, okay, because Kid Cudi was really bubbling with that style, and Kanye kind of, smooth.
Well, isn't he signed to that label?
He was.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. I think up until about 2012, something like that, something around that range. And then, he started doing his own thing before, he started having, mental issues and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Kanye thing is, his life has been
interesting.
Wild. Absolutely.
I call it very interesting because Kanye, when I was listening to him come up, it was from, him just being behind the scenes, a producer.
He just made beats.
Yeah, he was just a beat maker. That was it. Yeah. And then, he got his shot and he took off with it.
Yeah.
So, from College Dropout on up, he's really done something different. Now, I don't know about his little circle of ghostwriting allegations. I
don't know.
I don't know. But him as an artist, he's done a lot creatively. So
they say he's probably one of the greatest creative artists in the industry, period.
Because it's been a lot of songs that have just really resonated with a lot of people. And Kanye West was the start of you don't have to be a thug and you don't have to be a gangster, to make it in this industry. So at least to me, I know there were others before him like Lupe and people like that. Shout out to Lupe, love him.
Love Lupe.
Love Lupe. And that's just how I look at it. So
yeah, Kanye, a part of me is like he's washed up, and then another part of me is like he's still got some potential. Like he still knows how to make a hit.
Yeah,
and it's for people who are his age and or older or around his age, it's hard for them to keep up with the younger people because their minds just don't work the same.
Nah.
Like their music isn't the same.
Not even that. Their attention span isn't the same. Music is it's plentiful now. Back then, it was not as easy to get your music to people or, share a song to somebody. You can airdrop it now. You can send it through a message or an email or you can go download it. It wasn't that easy a couple years ago.
Yeah.
LimeWire. Anybody who remembers LimeWire, you know what it was like for iPods? Oh, Lord. That was a terrible era. So many malware viruses. So many.
But even when I say washed up, I don't mean like he's trash. I just mean like it's not relevant. You know what I mean? Like the music and the sounds might not be what the younger ears, and people know young people run music. Between the ages, I'd say of even if you listen to TikTok, TikTok, everything, all those videos are usually like kids who are between 13 and 18, like they're in high school, and that's probably the majority of TikTok views are people that age group. So if you can't make music that they're going to dance to or whatever, then how relevant is your music in that sense?
Right.
But as far as the whole scope, people who are older and truly understand the craftsmanship of music, Kanye's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, of course. But to the younger generation, they won't.
It's going to be hard for them to groove to that kind of stuff.
Man, but see, that's also what happens when you find your fan base.
Yeah.
You don't really have to, because to be honest, Tuesday's going back to it. We know Drake is capable of better.
Oh yeah.
We've heard him do some crazy records, some crazy features.
Yeah.
So of course Tuesday Slides was a throwaway.
Yeah.
To me, it was a throwaway because when you come
that was a hit. A throwaway hit.
It was literally a throwaway hit. And we know he can do better. I mean, think about it. God's Plan is still one of Apple Music's biggest streamed, downloaded songs to date. That was genius. Actually, I think it's still number one. Yeah.
That junk was genius.
It's still number one. And all of his albums, boom. But you know, he's just like, look, to the younger market, let me make sure that I can also feed them as well. Because we came up with Drake when he didn't have the beard.
Yeah, yeah.
he was string bean Drake.
Heartbreak Drake.
Heartbreak. Ooh. Not the mixtapes, Lord. Not the
Heartbreak
mixtapes.
Drake.
But yep, Heartbreak Drake, Lord. And he had the little jacket, the little trench coat.
Yeah.
With the fresh fade. Yes. That Drake. We had that Drake.
What was that? Comeback season?
Yes, comeback season.
Yeah.
That was the Drake we had. But they have the Drake where he's just trying to be as smooth and cool as possible. And that's, you know, TikTok. That's what they love to do. My daughter loves TikTok.
Okay.
Lord. She will get her little butt up and dance in front of any TikTok video. I swear. It's crazy. So, nah, but that's just finding your audience. Now you can put out whatever you need to put out, and they'll trickle it down. Just think about it, how some of us listen to the oldies because of our parents. You know, they'll talk about how our music is trash, but I'm not going to lie, I listened to a couple of those records, just a couple of them, and I see now they weren't just so innocent, quote unquote. So, nah, what was it? Heard it through the grapevine? Like, come on now. What was it? Temptations, Papa was a Rolling Stone. We just, our generation just grew up with the fact that our parents were like, you just have to say it as is. And that's just how we take it now. They were so clever with it back then. Like, what was it? Mary Jane. My mom didn't even know that song was about weed.
Oh, man.
That's how clever it was.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm in love with Mary Jane. Like, she didn't catch it. Mary Jane. I was like, Mom, how you not catching that? And she was like, I just did. You know, I don't.
Was that Rick James?
That was Rick James.
Rick James? Yeah, so you should have known that just because it was Rick James.
Just because of who it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There's a song by The Weeknd. God, what was the name of that song? Is it I Can't Feel My Face? Is that the name of the song?
I think so.
Yeah, he made that song about like cocaine. And it won like the Kids' Choice Awards.
Wasn't that at Nickelodeon?
I think so.
Yeah, it was. It sure was. And it won. But that's because the kids didn't understand what they were listening to. Like a lot of the songs, we didn't understand what we were listening to. Like, what was it? Yin Yang Twins Whisper. We were just repeating it. We didn't know what he was saying until we got older and we were like, wait a minute.
Oh, especially when you were like, you were listening to the edited edition on the radio, and then you finally heard the unedited.
It was like, whoa.
Like Get Low. The first time I heard Get Low and Whisper. Well, even, God, what was the, that David Banner song?
What was it?
It was like, on the radio, it always said, "Run, girl, I'm trying to get your body wet."
Oh, yeah.
But in the unedited, it was "Come, girl, I'm trying to get."
I was like, whoa! Like, wait a minute, this is not appropriate.
That was completely threw me off. I was like,
okay, all right. Damn. So I was really bumping this, and no wonder I got smacked. Okay, I got you, Mom. I understand. Like, thank you, Dad, for not letting me listen to that.
I heard somebody talking about what was it? They were just saying like how nowadays all people talk about is like money and hoes and stuff like this. And then somebody that was like a younger artist was like they were talking about God, what's that group from Florida? It was like the Miami. They were big with the Miami football team. But shoot.
I got to think about it now.
That's gonna bother me.
It's one of those moments when you're gonna think about it.
But yeah, they were talking about that group because that was like most of their music. They had this like wild, like raunchy music, and they were making a point that that's how Uncle Luke.
That 2 Live Crew.
2 Live Crew.
2 Live
That's
Crew.
it.
That's what it was. 2 Live Crew.
Yeah.
2 Live Crew.
2 Live Crew had some raunchy music.
Oh, they had plenty.
And then like Snoop Dogg, his music back in the day.
His first album was called Doggy Style.
Doggy Style, yeah.
Come on now.
And that's how the music was back then. But I don't think people realized it.
Nah, it was put in front of you, but it was done cleverly. Like, it's all about, an underline to it.
Yeah.
And that's what made them really, really great artists. Because a lot of them, they did have a lot of raunchy music. I mean, 2 Live Crew was infamous for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to repeat one of these. Just in case my mom was watching, I'm not going to repeat one of their songs. But they had a lot of it that's still being used today. If you go to a club, you might actually find one of their songs being played.
Yeah.
And they want to say that that's all that it was about, but you have to think about where hip-hop was coming from, where rap was coming from. I mean, I've heard plenty of rock songs that talk a lot of shit. Like, plenty of country songs. I've even heard my first country diss track. My first one.
What was that?
He was like, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was a joke, if it was a prank, but I heard it and I laughed so hard because the dude was like, fuck your dog. I was like, the dog? I was like, the dog? For real? Like,
Yo.
The dog out of all people, but it's cool. And little Fido's, F you Fido. But
that's crazy.
Nah, it's more than that. You know, it's just what more are people going to associate with. Like, if you want to be positive and stuff, that's cool, but you might not get played, you might not get listened to because a lot of people want something that they can kind of, relate to. Like, don't get me wrong, people relate to the struggle. They relate to, having it hard. Everybody's had it hard no matter what it was, no matter if you were the poorest of the poor, the richest of the rich. You've had it hard in some aspect. We're all human. We all go through stuff. It's not all perfect glitz and glamour, no matter what is going on. But to me, it's like people will gravitate more towards, I'm getting money or anything else because that's how they envision themselves. That's why it's called entertainment as well, because people are like, yo, he's making money. I feel like I can do it too. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go start rapping or singing or, drum up a band or anything. Drum up a band. Bars. Bars. But, they feel like, yo, somebody gets it. Like, I'm making money, and so they start singing your song and, turns into a fan. Boom.
You listen to Hobson?
What? What? Yes.
There are plenty of people who don't listen to Hobson.
Nah, people, they're intimidated by his look. That's mainly why they don't listen to Hobson, because he's not a, is it cool if I say, he's not a generic black dude.
Yeah.
He's not. He goes against the grain, and he actually has a lot of deeper meaning and deeper lyricism than people are used to hearing.
Absolutely.
And that's honestly one of the things that's missing in the game nowadays, because people are just like, look, just tell me what I need to know.
Yeah.
It's like The Secret on Netflix. Just tell me what I need to know.
People are trying to fit a mold, I think.
That too.
And Hobson absolutely shatters the mold.
Oh, destroyed it.
Yeah.
He stomped on it.
But he's got one of his ill minds. Have you seen the one where he's like in a bedroom and then there's like the girls and I think it's like two guys, and he's just like basically schooling them, like preaching to them. Oh snap! It's one of the ill minds of Hobson. I can't remember. I think it might be like number 3 or 4. But he's talking about like people who just basically sit at home and do nothing, but they listen to a lot of rap music. And he says, you hear your favorite rapper talking about how they got the money stacking to the roof, and you think it's just gonna magically just happen to you.
Yeah, people do. It's crazy. Like, they really do. Like, I used to be like that. Like, I would see, especially like the local artists in Memphis who are now like superstars, like, you know what I'm saying, like Yo Gotti and people like that. Like, you'd be like, yo, he's got money, but you don't see the behind the scenes of how they're doing it. They're blood, sweat, tears. They're going out every day. They're promoting their music. They're trying to get people to listen. That was back when they were selling CDs, at the corner store. Or, they were doing whatever it took, and people would sit at home and just look at you and be like, okay, you got money, so where's mine? It's a self-entitlement.
Yeah.
Like, people are very self-entitled nowadays, and rap music doesn't help, because it looks like they got it all. They've already got it. It's easy, right? It's easy, and it's not. Trust me, it's not. It's not. Like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would, have all the money in the world, and it's not that easy. You really do have to get out here. You have to promote. You have to make sure that, you're being seen. Not so much as you're just trying to sell people stuff, but you're just trying to make them aware. That's what I like to call it, aware.
Yeah.
Like, I want people to know, hey, he does music, or hey, he is having a show. Now, you don't have to show up necessarily, but at least you see the work. I'm still going to do it whether you do, you come or not, whether you buy it or not, whether, it's just all about, what you're really trying to do. Of course, everybody wants to stack money to the ceiling, ride big cars and have a Rolex and all this other extra shit, but they don't see that you really do have to work.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of people to sit me down like, you're nowhere. You really have to work. And that's what I've been doing this year, trying to really, really work. And I mean work hard.
Do you have a team of people, or is it you just kind of doing your own thing, making songs?
I have a team of people, Soul City ENT. They're probably watching right now. Actually, yeah, a couple of them are actually. Like, shout out to all of them. So yeah, that's my little team. My DJ 2 times, DJ 4 Feet, DJ Bash. Shout out to Godfrey, Pound, LFM. Aspire. It's so many of us now. At first it was just me, and we came together like the Avengers. So it was funny. It was real funny how it happened. But we all basically almost all went to school together, and everybody's been in the music realm together. It's just we've never actually been together. And then
are they all Memphis people, or
they are every single one of us Memphis, and that's how we like to keep it. Not saying that anybody on the outside is not welcome. We're not saying that, but that's how we started. Everybody was from Memphis. Everybody lived like 10 minutes away from each other. And even to this very day, we still all live like 10 minutes away from each other. So yeah, but that's how we came together. It was from my tour actually this past year.
Okay.
I keep thinking it's last year. No, last year I was doing a bunch of shows, but this year actually
it's been a long year.
Like I said, Corona ruined everything because it stopped me mid-tour. Like I literally just came back from Tampa, Florida. Shout out to everybody in Tampa. Shout out to my boy Steve, who actually put me on to a lot of shows out there. And I literally just came back, and I was getting ready to have this the Dreams tour for my first album, and boom, we had the first show. It was nice. It was packed. Like the venue was like crazy packed. And then the second night, it was packed again. We had an outside like kind of like bonfire at the venue, and then the third night, Rona.
The third night?
Third night, Rona. The first 2 nights were packed. Like, there was standing room only. And then Rona hit. It was just like, why?
Dang.
It was like, why?
So what was your, like, immediate reaction after that?
It was like, my first reaction was like, damn. Like, now what are we going to do? Because virtual shows, they're cool, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like a stage where you see your favorite artist. They're screaming at the top of their lungs. You can see the sweat. They're running back and forth. Like when Kanye was singing that song, he literally ran. Like, it's just nothing like it. Don't get me wrong, virtual shows are cool, and I understand that's how we got to live, but it's like, damn, that was my first reaction. Like, what are we going to do? Like, how are we going to continue to, satiate our fans? Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, we're going to figure it out. Maybe we'll do, some mini shows. Maybe 10, 15 people can come. And I'm like, that's still a big risk. I don't want anybody to, die for this like that. Not like that. Because I've already had a couple people in my family who personally, who passed from Corona. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, so I'm not literally trying to make anybody else, suffer that kind of way. So, but for now, virtual shows, and the only show this year that I will actually finish doing is Loudfest. That is the last one.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen you've been doing, you're like all over the place. You got stuff in, is it Houston?
Yep, that's Loudfest.
Okay, that's Loudfest?
That's Loudfest.
So what's that all about?
The Loudfest it's a festival full of all genre of artists. Like, it doesn't matter, rock, country, reggaeton, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody, it's really cool. I made the top 100 artists, which is really dope, which means I actually get a little bit more stage time, which is cool. But it also cultivates a lot of the like the sponsors, A&Rs, people like that who are actually coming to like scout out new talent. And it doesn't matter if you're signed or not or whatever. They're just looking to see what else is out there. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. And I got invited to go. So I was like, cool, I'm going. What? What? The only one from Memphis going. I'm the only one from Memphis going. So that's work. That's work, everybody. That's work.
Do you find yourself in those situations where you realize, hey, I'm basically representing Memphis right here?
It gets nerve-wracking because I'm not a stereotypical Memphis rapper. Like, I'm not, like, I don't even call myself a rapper like that. It's more like I'm a hip-hop artist. Don't get me wrong, I rap, but, that's only when I'm really just trying to show off.
Yeah, you don't want to put yourself in the lane as what other people are doing.
Yeah, but it gets scary sometimes because it's like, when you think of Memphis, you think of number one, the first 48. Let's go ahead and get that out the way, everybody.
Yeah.
The first 48 is what you think about. Then you think about barbecue. Come on now.
Yeah.
World's best barbecue. It is up for debate from anybody from Texas. It is up for debate.
Absolutely.
But then after that, you think about all the other, you know, hip hop artists that are shining or the rappers that are shining. Like I said, Yo Gotti, Moneybagg Yo. You got the 3-6 Mafias, the Project Pats. You know, you have the Pooh Shiesties. You got all of those people, you know, and when you are in a completely different lane, it's like where you survive. It gets nerve-wracking because not a lot of people want to hear you lyrically try to, you know, seduce them.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that for an entire album. Don't get me wrong, I have my fun songs too where I talk about getting money and stuff like that. But my core, where I'm at, I like lyricism. I like to get you to think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like to story tell. Those are all the artists that I listen to. So, of course, I took a little bit from that. I like to, you know, talk about stuff that actually happens in Memphis. You know, and of course worldwide. You know, that's why the album's worldwide. You know, we all have problems, but you know, I shine a light on Memphis as well as other things that can relate. So
when you are talking about like the different kind of songs you make, I was actually asking Savannah Brister. I had her on the last podcast. And
I caught that,
and I was like, so a lot of your songs, are you making them just for, you know, how you think, or are you making them for like how you? Just to make a good song, you know what I mean? As far as like when you're writing the music. So when you say you've got a lot of storytelling type stuff, and you know, you want the lyrics to be nice and everything, and then you've got your other music, do you feel like you need to create a balance of maybe a 50-50 or just like I want to do mainly 80% the kind of stuff I like and 20% the kind of stuff that I know is just going to be a banger, like, you know, some Tootsie Slides.
I would say, yeah, it's about an 80-20 for me. I like to, you know, I like to put myself in other people's shoes. And sometimes I like to reverse the role, you know. I like for you to feel, you know, where I'm coming from as well as I like to try to see where you're coming from. You know, that way, you know, we can bridge some gaps and see, okay, well, this is how you're feeling and this is how I'm feeling. Okay, can we kind of weave these and see if we can understand each other just a little bit better? Because I feel like with a little bit more understanding in hip-hop, that would really, you know, help. You know, there's nothing wrong. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing your Tootsie Slides or, you know, just your bangers. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
But when you don't get that understanding and you just kind of just do whatever, you know, people aren't really gonna hang on to you for too long, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're just making like, you know, 6-9 songs, you know, it's just not gonna work to me.
You know who Ashton Riker is?
I do not.
Actually, he's a really good singer in the area. I had him on a while back. He's done music with Lil White, I think Fraser Boy, and some other people, but he liked the word substance. He said that a lot of people don't have good substance to their music, and he said that's what he values the most is making sure, you know, the words he's using are heavy, that you feel those words, and that's something I like. You know, it almost breaks my heart to make a song that doesn't have substance, and I try to like just make a, you know, just a whatever type song. I'm saying this is hard.
You have to make substance because I mean it's just like a drug. If it doesn't have substance, it's not gonna stick around. You know, it's just gonna come in your system and leave. Yeah. You know, but when you have true substance, it's gonna stick to you. Yeah. You know, it's gonna resonate even hours later. It's gonna be like, damn, I remember when so and so said that in the middle of this. Yo, did you catch that? Yeah. And it's a playback feature, you know, in your brain. It's like, I got to go play it back, you know. So the more that you have substance, like my DJ will say, you know, you have substance, Krisiz. You have a lot of substance, which means people are going to stick to you, you know. Now, if you want to go out and just make whatever the hell you want, cool, by all means, you know. But as soon as you fall, they're not going to be there to pick you up. You know, if you have substance, they're going to, you know, stick around. Yeah. I mean, because artists come in and come out so quick. Because they're like, okay, I made this really nice song. I made this hit song. what else is next? Now their fans are like, okay, cool, but can you go a little bit deeper? Do you have like a backstory? You know, what was going on behind the scenes? Do you have some drama? You know, did your mom die? Your dad? You know, they did you have a Superman complex where your dad was in a tornado or something? Like they want to know more about the person, not just the music.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just make a bunch of rhyming words and boom, it's a hit song.
Yeah.
To be honest, nowadays it's too easy.
Yeah.
You know, but to actually have them come back, that's the whole point. We want them to come back repeatedly. Like I'll find myself, you know, going back to a certain song that I made, and it might not be out, but it's like, damn, I wrote that? Like, damn, I said that? You have to double check, like, wait a minute, let me check the pad. I wrote that? Like, I wrote that. Or if you have a favorite artist, like for me, it would be Cole or Kendrick. And when you finally catch what they're saying, it's like, damn, hold on. Let me go back to Apple Music. What did he say? You reading the lyrics like,
yeah,
some fire right there. So, that's just, you need substance. And he's absolutely correct. You do need substance.
So who would you say is somebody that you think probably is, let's go with best storyteller.
Best storyteller.
Some people are just really good at storytelling.
The best storytellers, and I have a list of them. I have a whole list, but the best one still to this day is Slick Rick.
I haven't really listened to much Slick Rick. I'll probably listen to maybe a couple songs of Slick Rick.
It's that one storytelling song.
Is that to do with the patch on his eye?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That one storytelling song he made, I cannot think of the name of it off top, but that was, you know, a really great story. Then, of course, we go to, you know, for me personally, I know people won't agree, but I still like Stan from Eminem. Okay. He was one of the greats to do that. Kendrick Lamar made an entire album out of a story of his normal day-to-day life.
Which one was that?
Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Literally.
That's right.
And what was it? Cole, he literally made his life 2014 Forest Hills Drive. It was an entire front to back of what he went through. He has a song called 03 Adolescence. Like, he was letting you know in 03, this is how I felt. Like, you know, my homies was selling drugs, looking clean. I was like, yo, can I do that? And they was like, nah, this is not what you need to do. Because I might not be here 2 years from not doing this. So those are the kind of, you know, storytellers that I like to listen to.
Cole also had, was it For Your Eyes Only?
Oh, yes.
Wasn't that also?
How did I skip that? Like, wait a minute. How did I skip that? Yes, For Your Eyes Only was.
So wasn't that like a story about something? Was it just one song that was about like a friend that had died and he was writing the letter to like the girl? Or
no, it was the whole antithesis. The whole point of the album was about his friend. And he had got killed young. Okay. And, you know, a lot of us can relate to that. You know, we might have had a friend pass away or, you know, something like that at an early age. And we're like, damn, like you died so young and you had so much life left to live. So Cole he had said he had made that album a while back, you know, just in case something happened to his friend and boom, something did.
Dang.
So his friend was like, look, I need you to, you know, tell my daughter about, you know, the real me just in case I'm not here. So he literally made that entire album, minus Neighbors.
Yeah.
Minus Neighbors. That's fucked up.
Yeah, for real.
That's messed up how that happened. But yes, he made that entire thing about his friend. And I thought that was really great because it highlighted a lot of, you know, what goes down in the hood, you know what I'm saying, as far as you could just be minding your business and a straight bullet hit you. You know, my pops used to say a bullet has no name on it. And I was like, damn, like, what does that mean? He was like, you can get hit by any bullet. It doesn't matter who fires it. Yeah. And, you know, he made that for his friends. So that was really nice. And his daughter, you know, she caught the end of that song. It's an 8-minute song, and a lot of people don't stick to it because it's so long. Like I said, short attention spans.
Yeah.
But once you know, divulge into what he's really saying, you literally learn that dude was just a normal dude. He just, you know, made a couple mistakes like we all do. And, you know, the system sometimes doesn't let you, you know, get out of it. You know, whether you find the Matrix cheat code and you get out with the blue pill, or, you know, you stay in it. You know, it's all about how you're gonna do it. And he made that for his friends. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah,
that was really great. I would say my favorite storytelling artist is Nas. I would say it's Nas. Like Nas,
I skipped that one. I skipped that one.
So I was actually telling my wife earlier, I was like, I wish I could make music like this. Like I grew up in Alabama with like all white people, and
There's nothing wrong with that though.
I cannot tell a story like Nas, but I wish I was Nas.
Right.
Like I wish I grew up in that environment just so I could tell the stories that he does because it's just phenomenal. Yeah. It's like he needs to make a movie. Oh, like if Nas made movies about the hood, oh man, those would be the best movies. Like he would have made Boys in the Hood. Like he would have made stuff like that.
There's no doubt on that one.
Because if he could if he did a whole album, kind of like J. Cole, if he did like a whole album of telling a story, that would be a movie right there.
I think he did actually.
Did he do one?
I think it was it Illmatic? Was it Illmatic? Or was it Stillmatic? I cannot remember which one.
I don't know.
I was like, I can't remember which one. It was whichever one is NY State of Mind is on. Because he literally walks you through, what goes down on like a day-to-day basis in Queens.
I think that's Illmatic. Because it has the kid face on it.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Illmatic. Because I was just listening to that one. So that's actually my favorite Nas album.
Yeah, it's probably mine too.
That one, he destroyed that one.
Yeah.
I was like, man, had a scratch torque like.
Yeah, I mean it's like the being able to tell those kind of stories, and as we were talking about, like it hits home to certain people.
Almost definitely.
And if you've been in that situation, then that's that becomes like your new favorite songs is because it's relatable,
right?
So I mean, Nas being able to tell those stories is like in how he does it. He's got this one song where he tells the story backwards. Have you heard that one?
No, but I gotta go check that one out.
If I can find it later, I'll let you listen to it. But
I gotta check that one out.
What he does is he tells you an entire story backwards, and he's just like rapping the whole thing backwards. He's like talking about the bullet goes back into the gun, and he pulls the trigger or something like that. It's like then he loads it and stuff like that.
And it's
he's telling the whole story, but in reverse.
I'm gonna have to see a Scholar. If you could find that Nas song for me, I would appreciate that.
Yeah,
like, I appreciate you for checking in, but I think my brother probably will find it. Yeah, if nobody will find it, he'll find it.
Absolutely amazing to be able to creatively
do it.
Yeah, it's hard enough to write music, but but to think of an entire story and then tell it backwards and rhyme the whole thing
is like GOAT level.
Exactly.
GOAT level right there. So yes.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I probably started listening to Nas for real, like I'd say about 2015 or so. And then like when I just went on this spree of just listening to his music, I was like, man.
It's like, how did I miss that?
Now I get why this dude's the GOAT.
I was like, how in the world did I skip over it? I think when I really became heavy on Nas is when I finally heard Ether. And I was already like, I was like, oh shit.
Ether is disrespectful.
Like, whoa.
I still say, what was the song that Tupac made? Disambiguous.
Hit 'em Up.
Hit 'em Up and Ether are by far the hardest disses I've ever heard.
Like, I don't know. No Vaseline kind of goes up there too.
No Vaseline is nice. That's nice.
I don't know, because Q kind of went for the jugular on that one.
Yeah, he cooked him on that one.
I was like, Jesus, he didn't have to do all of that. Put the pen down. Get out the booth. Like, somebody stop this man.
Did you see the Compton movie?
Oh, yeah. I saw Straight Outta Compton like twice. Like, I was in Nashville when I lived up there. I saw that movie twice at the Opera Mills. It was crazy. I had to go back the same night to see it again. Like, this is a great movie. And you learn so much about them that you really didn't know just, hearing it or reading about it in the, the blogs or the little magazines. And it's just like, damn, y'all really went through some stuff. Like, now the only thing I can say that I wasn't surprised about was Eazy-E, like as far as how he was like, this is, my company type deal. So I was like, I understood that, from his side of, the coin. I don't know if Jerry Heller was, robbing people. That's just, maybe it was a good story. He said he didn't, but I don't know. Cube did kind of disappear, do his own thing. So I can't really say. But it was a really good movie, and it really showcased that you can turn nothing into something. And they really did. They literally pioneered a whole genre of music.
Yeah.
Literally. They carved out gangster music, and boom. And that's what the West Coast became known for. I mean, after that, you had Snoop, I'm trying to think, Exhibit. You had a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like DJ Quick. I'm trying to think. You had Warren G. You had, of course, Nate Dogg. Rest in peace to him. It was
I always hear about, people associate E40 with the West, but you never really hear about him with like a bunch of OGs in the game. Like you don't associate the two. Like you always associate E40 as an OG for the West Coast, but like you don't hear him hanging out with Snoop Dogg and those kind of people. So it's kind of weird.
It is weird. I think he kind of strays away from, the industry like certain artists do. Yeah. They kind of just like go back to their lives like, okay, this is for entertainment. I'm going back to be me again. So a lot of them do that.
Do you have certain artists on the West Coast that you really like?
The whole TDE roster.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like SZA, Isaiah Rashad, Absol, Schoolboy Q.
Is nice.
He is nice.
Yeah.
He is slept on, and that's our opinions. Yeah. Don't hold us to it, but he really is slept on. He's a really, really great lyricist.
Yeah.
So who else on the West Coast that I'm rocking with?
You ever listen to Kid Ink?
Yes.
Kid Ink, I found him back in like 2009 or 2010. I was in high school going Dat Piff live mixtapes.
Not Dat Piff,
yeah,
Lord.
Dat Piff live mixtapes. I was going through the music, and I think one of his mixtapes was featured, and I was like, this dude's music is amazing. I'd never heard of this before, and nobody I knew had heard of it before. And I was like, this is crazy. And then finally, he started getting a little bit of exposure. But I don't know if it's just because I live in the South or what, but like not a lot of people listen to Kid Ink over here.
Yeah.
He's probably huge on the West Coast.
Oh, of course. Like
people don't really listen to him.
It's a Southern thing. I'm gonna be honest. It's a Southern thing, and a lot of people they just hold up, say that.
And you ended your life?
Yep. Like ended my life. I had like 10 people on there. I had to end it real quick. But a lot of people in the South, they're so deep rooted in their own music and culture and everything else that they don't really like, to take in anything else. They're just like, no, this is our way of life. This is it. Like stubborn people is the South. If a stubborn person was a person, it'd be the South.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the West Coast is just so they go with the wave, they ride it, they do whatever. Cool. The East Coast is more sturdy. They embrace change, but they're not like just so quick to do it.
Yeah.
But the South.
If it's not from the South, it's trash.
Exactly. And it's
Who's that? Trash.
Trash. And that's crazy. And it's like, I never understood the South and why it's like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy because if you're a Southern rapper, you could pop in the South easy. You could pop in the West easy. But a West Coast coming to the South?
Can you think of anybody from Virginia other than Chris Brown?
Trey Songz.
Trey Songz from Virginia?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yep. Trey Songz, Timbaland.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yep. Me. Like me.
You're from Virginia?
I was born in Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yep. So I was born.
So when did you leave Virginia?
Like when I was like 2.
Dang, okay.
So that's why I still retain some of my Virginian accent. My mom still makes fun of it to this day.
So why'd you move from Virginia to? You moved straight here?
We moved straight to Memphis after that because my parents had split, and so we, me and my mom and my sisters, and my brother, we came back. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was who else is from Virginia? It's a couple more artists. Pusha T.
Pusha T's from Virginia?
Virginia Beach, Virginia. Yes, he is.
I would have never guessed that.
A lot of people like skip over there like, Pusha T, where are you from? And he'll be like, Virginia.
I would have never
He said it in a couple songs, actually.
For real?
Yes. He's
that's
like, I'm
crazy.
from Virginia. So, yep. And then I think that's it. Virginia doesn't have too many like giant artists like that, but those are the biggest ones that I think of. Like Chris Brown, Tabba Hannock, Virginia. Yeah. Trey Songz is from Virginia, Timbaland, and yeah, that's all of them.
That's wild. Yeah, I try to think of when we think of East Coast, you think about J. Cole and being from North Carolina. Like, I think that's like East Coast. That's what I think about, and also the New York rappers. But
of course.
Do
they even count as a coast? Because New York is kind of inland.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do y'all even count as a coast? No, I'm just playing.
But back then, that's what East Coast versus West Coast. And really what they meant was New York versus California.
That's literally all it was. I like how they left the South out of that.
Yeah.
The South was like, we're not involved. We were Switzerland, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, because I can't think of anybody back then that was from like North or South Carolina or Virginia.
Ooh.
Like back in the day, I think everybody was like in that New York area.
Yeah, it was mainly New York, Philly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anybody, honestly. Honestly, around that time, like in the 90s, that's when Atlanta had started to pop. Like when TLC, Jermaine Dupri, you know, all of them were starting to really make their own sound. Outkast, like all of them, Goody Mob, like literally all of them.
Yeah.
So.
And like what you were talking about, the South being like, you know, sticking to the South, that Atlanta movement, what I get, so the late 90s all the way to, what was the early 2000s?
Yep.
I would say mainly the early 2000s. Like they just took over music.
Oh yeah,
like it wasn't even fair for everybody else.
Of course not. It wasn't supposed to be fair because we had been losing for so long. It was like now we finally get the shine. No. We are literally going to make y'all feel it at this point.
Well, the South and really Atlanta. I'll just say specifically Atlanta. Atlanta and Houston, Texas. Like those two cities in the early 2000s just ran all music.
Yes, you couldn't turn on a song if it wasn't Paul Them Franchise Boys,
Mike Jones.
Oh my Lord! Like it was
Lil Kiki.
He will actually be at Loud Fest.
Oh really?
Yes, I actually get on stage and meet Lil Kiki, so that's pretty cool.
That's dope.
And Lil Flip.
Oh, Lil Flip. Yeah.
Yep. So and don't forget UGK.
Yep.
It was who else was coming from Atlanta? Outkast was still making it.
Early 2000. They had Speaker Box Love Below.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite albums.
Yeah,
I love that album. Who else was coming out? It was so many. I think Mariah Carey was still around, but I don't think she's from Atlanta.
Sure. I don't know.
But she deals with she was dealing with Jermaine Dupri.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess she would kind of count. Who else? Sierra.
Oh, yep.
Come on now, you couldn't Ludacris. How did we skip over Luda? Wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute. That is literally one of my top 10.
He was representing for Atlanta right there.
Like hard.
Because they wasn't Welcome to Atlanta his song?
It was on the remix, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Because the story
Whose song was that?
That was Jermaine Dupri's song.
It was Jermaine Dupri?
Yes. And the story behind that goes, Ludacris actually, I saw a video on it. It was so funny. Because Jermaine Dupri, he was the top dog back in the day. And Ludacris, when he was first coming up, he was just trying to, get his name out there. And Jermaine Dupri didn't live far from him. So, he tried to, go, just deliver his mixtape to him, but make sure he wasn't there. So he would have to call him like, yo, I listened to your mixtape. And he pulled up, and Jermaine Dupri was in the front yard washing his car. And he took off. A couple years later, when Ludacris was finally, coming up or whatever, Jermaine called him and was like, look, I want you on the song. It was funny to Luda because he was like, at first, you wasn't calling me at all. Now I can't get you to quit calling me. It's funny how, life works that way. So.
That's funny.
So yeah, that was his song, and it was still a dope song. Yeah. And that's back when all of the New York had its song. It had like Ja Rule, Fat Joe.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm from New York.
Yeah, see, everybody was having this. I think the West Coast did something like that too.
Maybe
it was like they all just started doing their own like songs from like I'm from this city, I'm from this city, I'm from this region. It got crazy. That was like that was like right before Soulja Boy started, the Batmans and the everything else. Like it was crazy.
I would say Soulja Boy. People probably don't want to admit it. He's probably one of the most influential artists in the history of music.
Yep.
Because me and my friends, we were downloading his music off LimeWire.
Oh, of course.
And had no idea where he came from.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden started hearing his music on the radio, saw the video on YouTube. Yep. And then I was like, holy smokes. Like he's getting some buzz.
Right.
And then the dude just took over. Like he was everybody makes fun of him for like him making all these claims.
Yes.
But he was TikTok before TikTok.
I was just about to say that had he came out with Superman today, woo, Lord.
He'd be destroying. Like he'd be breaking all
types of records. Like we think Drake was setting a record. Nah, with that dance alone.
Yeah.
Just the Superman dance. He wouldn't even have to put out another record at all.
That's all he had. That song "Let Me Get 'Em." He had "Shootout."
Yep.
Like those songs were just all dance songs.
Yep.
And everybody, what was that other song?
What was it? Crank That RoboCop?
Yeah, Crank That. They had all those Crank That's.
He did.
And he didn't make all of them, but it was the fact that he started that.
Yep.
And people don't realize how many things Soulja Boy really started, and then he might not have been the best at them. Like, other people might have. I would say the RoboCop actually might have been a better song than
the Superman.
Yeah. But It's the fact that he started it.
Right.
And we do make fun of him for like making all these claims and stuff like the Dre.
Drake. Aubrey? It's like, yes, Drake. And nah, we gotta give dude his props.
Yeah,
like back
for sure.
in like '07 when he really like dropped and he really came out. It was so crazy. People were playing, like my friend, like who I rap with, he literally brought me that song a year before that song even really just popped. Before, you know, that was when YouTube had just started. I'm talking about YouTube was fresh. Before they had the age band and everything else, it literally had just started up. And he showed me the video of the song. It was trying to get me to do that crazy ass dance. And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that was back in high school. And then, boom, a year later, it took off. It was just like, damn. Like, he was trying to get me to do that goofy dance in the house, and I just wouldn't do it. Now look at all these grown 30-year-olds in the club, sweating their perms out, trying to yule. Like,
Oh my God.
like, wow. Like, you know, my sister told me that. She was like, yeah, I was trying to do that dumbass dance in the club and fell on my face.
Oh man.
I said, were you in heels? Yes. I thought so. So no, but we really do need to, you know, show him just a little bit of appreciation to, you know, doing everything that he did do. He was the first, you know, to go viral. Like he literally coined that phrase, to be honest. Like
for sure.
Like he really went viral. And people hate it because when hip hop was coming up before he showed up, it was like they were so into the, you know, I'm real. Like I said, the whole, you know, thug, you know, aspect of it. You know, you kind of got to be from the streets and, you know, kind of move some dope and this kind of, you know, stuff. But he was just like, I'm a 15-year-old kid.
Yes.
I'm not doing none of that. So how else can I come into this industry, this world, and be who I am?
Yeah.
And he was like, shit, I like to have fun. Let's do it. And boom, he produced it, he wrote it, he put it out. I mean, you can't really hate on that part.
Yeah.
I mean, it went diamond, for goodness sakes. It went diamond. That one song went diamond.
Yeah.
He never has to do another record for another, you know, as long as he lives.
But nothing he'll ever do from now on
Will ever
close.
top that.
No. And, you know, I feel bad for him.
Like I feel bad, but I also feel good for him too, because it's like, you started a real movement.
Yeah.
You know, you started people, you know, using their social medias. You started people with the cameras, and you know, you did that, but you got a little too cocky at the same time.
Yeah.
Now that it's like you can have some humility with it.
Yeah. He was like, God, he was talking about Drake stealing his style from Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Okay, I'm glad I finally get to address that.
What was that about?
Okay.
Because he started doing it, and then
Charlamagne
was like, oh, but I
right.
still don't get it though.
All right, so first of all, it wasn't "Kiss Me Through the Phone," Charlamagne.
Oh, okay.
It was not "Kiss Me Through the
Cool.
Phone." It was
Okay.
he had another song. First of all, the song was like terribly mixed, but it was his song, and it was like, you know, tell me what's really going on. You know, Soulja Boy, I'm back up in the thing. What's happening?
Oh,
And
yes, I know
Drake,
that one.
his first song, well, not even his first song. Excuse me, let me not say that, because his first song was like "Replacement Girl" with Trey Songz.
That was a song with Lil Wayne he had.
Yeah, Miss Me. It was
Miss
off,
Me,
It was
that's
off
right.
his album Thank Me Later. And he started out, you know what I'm saying, tell me what's really going on. Drizzy Drake, I'm in this thing, you know, what's happening.
happening?
And he was like, he stole that whole, I said, he only borrowed like maybe 2 to 4 bars.
Yeah.
That was it. The rest of the song was Drake.
Had nothing to do
It
with
had nothing to do with you. I could see if he took that flow and that cadence and did it the entire song and even used like most of your words. Okay, cool. That is definitely biting. You definitely stole that from me. I'm going to need my coins from that. But Drake just used that to, you know, get us into the song. You know, that was just his start out to the song. And then on top of that, he was paying homage. Because, you know, Soulja and Drake came up around the same time.
Yeah.
You know, it just took us longer to get to Drake because, like I said, he was different. He wasn't a thug. He was, you know, emotional.
Heartbreak Drake.
Let's just call it what it is. He started emo rap. And, and there's nothing wrong with that because, shoot, us guys have feelings too, ladies.
Exactly.
we feel, we cry.
Exactly.
Might not be in public and stuff, you know, but we cry. But nah, when he started that, it was just like, cool. But Soulja, nah, he didn't steal anything from him. He paid homage, and that was really cool to, you know, us, especially if you're a hip hop head. That was really cool to see because not a lot of people even know that song.
Yeah.
So for you to know that song, you would have to know how far back that really was. And that was like 06.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, and that came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay. Yeah, you said Kiss Me Through the Phone. I was like,
Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Those don't sound the same at all. So I was really confused. But now that you clear that up, those were exactly sounded the same, but for the rest of the song.
It was just, it was all Drake.
Yeah. What was that cell phone song that he had? It was talking about, God, what was that song?
I think it was Kiss Me Through the Phone. Was that the other one?
Oh, I guess it was Kiss
Me.
That
I
said cell phone. So
Kiss
Me Through the Phone.
And kids, if you're watching this, you don't really know what a ringtone is or a ringback tone. But I will tell you, if you had
that was
everywhere. If you had a cricket phone, I want people to understand. If you had a cricket phone back around that time, scratch that. If you had a Motorola Razor. The Razor, yes. If you had the Razor, then you know that as soon as you call your girlfriend, that is your ring back.
Oh my God.
And then she'll pick up and be like, hello, you want me to kiss you through the phone, baby?
Oh my God. Dude, you hit the nail on the coffin with that one.
It was so crazy. Like, that was when ringback tones were at an all-time high. Like, my ringback tone was Heartless from Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreak. In the night, I hear him call.
Why isn't that still a thing?
Because people shied away from it, because at that point, that's when digital downloads started to become a new thing.
Like, nobody has a ringtone anymore. Nobody has
rare.
Nobody has a ringback tone. Like,
because it got annoying. Think about it. All the notifications we have to repeatedly hear, kiss me through the, kiss me through the, kiss me through. Like, I throw my phone at that point. Like, get this out of here. Like, nah.
I guess people are communicating faster and easier nowadays. So
just if you check your email every 10 minutes, just think about if you had your ringer on. For all my iPhone users, if you was to flip that silent up and you was to get all of your 9,000 emails, you would go insane.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you just put your kid to sleep and all you hear is,
baby, you know that.
I would lose it. You know what? I'm going to disconnect my service. I'm going back to track phones. Track phones.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, thinking about all the things that Soulja Boy had to influence is really funny because of how people treat him. Oh, what was was he beefing with Chris Brown? Is that what that was? I can't remember.
Oh, that was funny when I kind of got in and out of that. I try not to keep up with stuff like that, but when you see it on like Instagram,
it's too much entertainment.
It's like, what?
What's the point of TV when you got Soulja Boy on Instagram Live talking about Chris Brown?
It's like, first of all, who's finna beef with Chris Brown? Ain't that man like 6'6"? Like, bro, like, nah. Like,
that's the country boy from Tappahannock.
You know what I'm saying? You don't mess with people from the country. Like, they have this ungodly strength for some odd reason. Like, cause my dad is from the country and he's got this ungodly strength. I don't know if it was from chucking wood in Mississippi or what. I don't know, cause my granddad had a farm. Maybe he was wrestling cows. I don't know. But you don't do it. Yeah. If you're a city person, no. And then he's from like Atlanta. Nah, man. You ain't in no woods. Like, nah. Tappahannock literally has a population of like 5,000 people. Like, all
that whole situation
was funny.
It was hilarious. But anything really Soulja Boy has ever gotten into has been pretty comical. Like recently, because let's see. He
had a beef with Chris Brown. He had a beef with somebody else that he was on live.
Wasn't it like a young rapper?
It was. I
don't remember who that was.
Like, I cannot think of it. But yeah, and I don't know. Beef isn't the same as it was 20 years ago.
No.
It wasn't the same. Back then, you knew, chances are you would be in the same club as so-and-so. Yeah. Nowadays, you literally know their location. So you purposely go to do harm. Back then, it was like coincidental chance. Like, if you were doing like a magazine cover for The Source and they were having an after party, they're going to invite all the bigwigs, whoever in town. And you could be on a label in town for doing something, and y'all just so happen to meet up. And it's like, it's do or die at that point. Okay, are we going to squash it or are we going to fight? What we going to do?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you going in a body bag. Like, and that's the crazy part. Like, people just get ready to shoot you for nothing now.
Yeah.
You got diamonds? Psh, they were only $200.
You heard about King Von?
I heard about that today from my friend Joe. I was like, man, that's a tragedy.
I actually don't. I've heard the name before.
I've heard of him.
I've never like listened to his stuff or anything like that.
And I hate that, that happened. I'm not going to sit up here and be like everybody else and be like, oh, I was a super fan.
No.
I wasn't a super fan, but I still hate when things like that happen because it's senseless and it doesn't even make any sense. To me, it's like there are more than, one way to how to, de-escalate a situation and walk away from it. Because at this point, if you're 25 and up, you've got at least one kid, you kind of want to go home.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I started thinking when I got my daughter. I was like, I want to go home. Like, is it worth it to punch you in the mouth and then you turn around and go up the trunk and then now I'm laying on the ground and, now they're putting me in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it. And that's what I implore to all my friends, you know what I'm saying, whether they're in the music industry or not, or, just be mindful.
Yeah.
There are people that care about you, and I really do hate that happened, to him. And, prayers go out to his family and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because, I buried my brother 2 years ago, so in the same year that I buried my dad, which is crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, literally a month and a half apart. And, it was senseless. My brother got killed, in Memphis, and it was just senseless.
Mm-hmm.
So after that point, I just started really thinking and, evaluating, okay, if I get into it with so-and-so, what could be the possible outcomes?
Mm-hmm.
We could squash it and just be like, you know what? You go your way, I go mine. We could fight, tussle, whatever. Then we go our separate ways. Or you could get rid of me, or I could get rid of you. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's too much to do out here. Way too much.
Yeah. I mean, the music industry is no place for true beef. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to have like
MC beef. Like, you can get on the record and be like, you could talk your shit and be like, I'm the best rapper alive. Okay, cool. Let's put that to the test.
Yeah.
Because, they used to do that back in the day. You claim you're the best. All right, let's see where your lyrics really are. Like, let's see if you can measure up on the pen. Cool. You ain't leaving this room until you best me.
Yeah.
We're going to play however many tracks. And, that's how they do it. They used to literally lock each other in the room and see who could out-battle who.
Yeah.
But nowadays, nah, people literally take it at face value. Like, your music is for the streets, so therefore you must be from the streets. And 95% of that is at first I was gonna say 90, but I was like 95%.
Let's bump this up.
Let me up this just a little bit. 95% of people aren't really out here doing that, because the people that I knew that were actually out here robbing, killing, stealing, doing all of this other shit that they talk about, they're dead and gone now.
Yeah.
They're in jail for 25 to life. Or, they then fled to China, but, the U.S. brought them back. I don't know how they did it with the extradition law, but, hey, it happened.
By any means.
Any means.
Yeah, there was somebody was talking about why they started drinking lean, and they said Future was the reason why they started drinking lean. And Future said that it kind of messed him up hearing that. And I was like, what did you expect? You're Future.
Like, you are Future.
Your name is the Future.
Like, literally, it's sensational. that is my favorite meme, sensational. Oh, but yeah, it's like, what do you expect? I mean, think about it. You talk about all of these drugs that you do, and Future's even been in interviews like, I don't do drugs.
His mixtape was called Dirty Sprite. That was his most famous mixtape, Dirty Sprite.
And they were like, what?
And this dude is confused on why somebody started drinking lean because of him.
Because hip-hop has turned into the most influential music. I remember when we were, growing up, people would kind of want to, do some of the things that they were talking about in hip-hop. Kind of.
Yeah.
Now everybody, they live off that. They literally live off of your words.
Yeah.
So as soon as you say, I'm out here drinking lean, me too. Let me get to it. Double cut me up.
Yep.
Or, I'm out here about to, hit a lick. Me too. They literally cling to it, and people don't really register that, oh snap, I'm an influence, especially like the bigger artist. Even if you're small, even if you're a smaller artist, your words do matter. I don't want you to think, oh, I can just say whatever the fuck I want to say and nobody's gonna pay attention. No.
Yeah.
As soon as you start saying, whatever you give your energy to is gonna be directed. You know what I'm saying? Energy is contagious.
Yeah.
So when people, they put all their energy into it. Think about it. When 6ix9ine first came out and he was energetic as hell, yelling in the mic, people were like, yo, that's hype. Let me get hype. You caught that energy.
Yep.
But if you're on a smooth, Nas tip, you're going to kind of relax, like, okay, let me
Exactly.
mellow out. It's just all about the energy. And when people catch that energy, They're like, I gotta match whatever he's doing. Like if you've never been at a club and the club got hype and you're the only person standing still, chances are you're probably lame. But you don't want to be lame, so you hype up too.
Absolutely. So
I hate that though. I hate that.
Have you heard the story The Game was telling about 6ix9ine?
Which one?
The Game said he knew 6ix9ine. No, it wasn't The Game.
No, it was Dave East.
It was Dave East.
Yes,
that's right.
That's why I was like, wait a minute, which story?
Yeah, it was Dave East.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking it was The Game. But Dave East was telling that story about how
he wasn't even like that.
Yeah, he said it was just like the cameraman or something for somebody.
Yep, he was the cameraman for another artist. And then he was like a week and a half later, he came in there with tattoos and the rainbow hair, and Dave was confused. He was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, you weren't like this last, like, what happened?
Yeah. Because one of the people Dave was cool with was like, hey, that's an old boy that used to be the cameraman.
Yeah, and that's crazy because you don't want to transform like that. Because at that point, you saw all the crazy crap that he went through.
Yeah.
You know, trying to put on that kind of image, you know, trying to feed whatever he was trying to feed. I'm not mad at anybody for trying to feed their families whatever way that you do. Yeah. That's your business, you know. More power to you, you know, hope the Lord or Buddha or whatever you believe in, the aliens, you know, Titans, whatever is with you. But just know it comes with consequences. Yeah. You know, whether they're big or small. Yeah. And I don't think he really registered that the street life does come with a lot of stipulations behind it.
How long was he in jail?
He was only in jail, I think, like two years. Like 2 years. Because this was right as 2018 he was getting ready to release his first or second album, and then he went to jail like literally right before that. Oh. And then this year he got released and Rona hit.
Bobby Shmurda got out, didn't he?
No,
he's still in.
He's still in. He's not out yet.
And was it Roddy?
Yes, they are still in.
Rowdy, whatever his name.
For now, I believe they're supposed to come home either 2021 or 22, whichever one of them.
Yeah, I mean all those people were just destroying music. Like they were the top of the list of everything, and then they all went to jail.
They went to jail because Chameleon there told us literally back in like 2005, the hip hop police. They literally have a section of police officers that just listen to rap music. Yeah. Just to find your lyrics. Think about it. There was a dude in Ohio. It was a story. My older sister was telling me about it. And she sent me, you know, the Instagram, you know, when they do the bulletins and, you know, breaking news and stuff. Yeah. And she sent it to me. It was like, brother, look at this. I was like, the hell? And I was reading the story. Dude made a whole rap song about the robbery and murder he just committed like 3 days ago.
Oh, my God.
And it was like, wait a minute. You committed robbery and murder? Like, you described everything. What gave it away is like the swim trunks that the victim had on. Oh. And he described it to a T. And now he's got like 3 consecutive life sentences. Like, you got to die and be revived and die again just to come back. Like, we have to repeatedly get the Dragon Balls for this guy. like repeatedly. Like, jeez. Like, at this point, Shenron's going to just pop up like, no, we're not doing this. Not again.
Not again. You can only revive once.
Once. No, they're going to have to take a trip to Namek again. But it is. And that's how a lot of them were getting caught up in their rap music. Yeah. Like, it's okay to live your life through your songs, but kind of tone it down a little.
Censor yourself.
Just a little bit. Like, especially if you're a street dude and you're really out here. Yeah. You know, don't give them no information. Yeah. They don't need to know. They don't need to know you was on 7th Avenue with 8 pounds, 2 Rottweilers, 3 guns. You got 2 holes in the back. Like,
I keep my red hat on me.
Like, nah, they don't need to know all of that.
Oh my God, they know you in the red hat. You're the only dude with the red hat in the area.
Like, and then what makes it worse is when they take the pictures.
Oh yeah,
like that's what kills me too. Like, y'all take all of these pictures with like guns and money and drugs. They didn't tone down on the drugs now.
Have you seen that video? It's a funny video. It's a light-skinned black dude. He's got like chin strap beard and he's always like making funny videos. But he's making one where him and like 2 other guys are cops and they're watching rap videos and they're like just catching people from the videos. Like, the first one, it's a dude. He's just like, he's got a gun. He's like, I got the gun. Who got the gun? I got the gun. He's like, and they're just watching the video and they're like, hold on, oh, this is pretty nice. I got the gun. He's like, play that back. And he's like, who got the gun? I got the gun. He's like, oh, he got the gun.
Yeah,
we got him.
Yeah, we got him. He's got the gun, so we know. And they don't think, like I said, they really don't think that the police are really out here listening to them.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, they are probably your most streamed on Spotify right now. Like, the playlist that you're in right now, I guarantee Officer Johnson is somewhere down at 201 listening to you right now. Like, yeah, you know, we attack them at dawn. Like, we got you. Like, nah. So, nah, that's why you have to be careful, you know. I'm not saying that you have to lie, but don't necessarily tell the truth.
Yeah.
Don't dry snitch on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you get caught wet snitching, you know, that's your business. Dry snitching? Nah, don't dry snitch on yourself.
Man, it's really just sad seeing so many people just do that to themselves because they can have such a great career in music and do well and freaking, you know, stop doing what they're doing, but they choose not to. And then also unfortunate things happen, like what happened to Meek Mill. Like, wasn't really doing anything truly like bad.
Bad, like that was the crazy part because I had been on Meek since I took a trip up north. Actually, I was visiting my cousins, and I got put on his Flamers mixtape. And I was
you should have started with Dream Chasers though. Dream Chasers was phenomenal.
I don't know. His old Flamers when he had the dirty braids, man, I don't know, man. Meek used to kill it, like for real, and people slept on him for so long, but he kicked down the door. But I hate what happened to him because he literally wasn't doing anything. Yeah. Like the judge was like, "You're gonna do this, that, and the third." And he was like, "I'm not gonna do that." Like, no, that's stupid.
Wasn't the story he didn't have a permit or something, like a driving permit? He was on the dirt bike. Or
it was something literally that trivial, and the judge was like, okay, well, if you, I think he's like, the judge had an off the wall request, and Meek was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like at the end of the day, outside of this music, I'm still a man. You're not gonna just command me to do something that, first of all, I don't want to do. Second of all, I'm not going to do. So he's like, no, I'll just take my jail time. I'll take it. Like if you're playing a game of Monopoly, that's what happened. He did not pass go, but he came back and he came back full force. So
yeah, absolutely. And like he had people like Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was like coming to see him in jail.
Yeah, because it was nutty why he went to jail. Like he literally went to jail off nothing. If you've ever been to jail for doing something, imagine if you've done nothing and you go to jail. How pissed you'll be. Yeah. But it's good.
Especially when you're Meek Mill.
Exactly.
Like, you're making millions of dollars doing music and then you're getting put in jail over something stupid. I mean, it's not the fact that he was in jail, it's the fact that how long they gave him for jail time.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like he still has a family to feed. Like he's losing money at this point. So it's like my freedom matters so I can feed who I need to, you know, and nobody, you know, outside of the people who actually knew him were really looking at it like that. I remember I was going down posting, people were like, oh, I'm glad he's in jail. He can't rap and da-da-da. I was like, what?
Still a man.
Still a man. Thank you. At the end of the day, he's still a man. Still a man. Like, come on, y'all. Like, jeez. Yeah. But I hate that as, you know, people get up in the game. People don't look at you like you're a person anymore. Like, you know, if you see a celebrity, you're like, man, you know, you look at them, they got this like glow to them. Like, you're just like, oh man, that person's amazing. They're just like, bro, I'm just like you. Yeah. I just so happen to make music. Yeah. I'm no different. I still wake up. I still scratch. I still go to bed wrong. My kid still gets on my nerves. I still got to sit in LA traffic for 2 hours. Like, I still like to go hang out with my family. Like, some people like to go In-N-Out Burger. I don't, but, you know.
As much as I am on kind of the Jordan Lucas train of thinking Logic is corny, but but I will say Logic said something pretty cool one time. He said that he went to a McDonald's. He was like inside the McDonald's, and I think he said some guy like came up to him, was like taking pictures of him like in his face and whatnot. And Logic was like, hold on, put the camera down. Hey, my name is, and he like started. He like forced him to have a conversation with him because he was like, "You're not about to treat me like I'm not some object. Like I'm a person. Like, just talk to me."
You can, and Even though Logic does have his corny moments, he's actually an artist that I actually like because outside of his, corniness, he does have a nice message behind him. It's just all about, peace, love, and positivity. We already have enough negativity going around in the world. We already have enough bad crap going on. It's like that's a good ray, to have. And
even if he's corny,
if he's corny,
at least it's a good message.
Yeah, at least it's a good. It's all about the message. It's like you could be corny all day. We know a lot of corny artists.
Yeah,
but we let them slide. Like we let them slide, because of their message. But his message is actually nice. It's just you have to sit down and listen to him.
Yeah,
and I had to recently do that because I had never listened to a Logic album prior to No Pressure. His last one.
You should have listened to the Sinatras.
I went back and I started listening to him, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's actually where I started with. Have you listened to Nicki?
No.
Oh. So the song is called Nicki, and he's talking about how much he loves Nicki and how much he wants to, just be with Nicki and stuff. It's nicotine.
That's
he's talking about,
I like that.
talking about how he doesn't, they've got a bad relationship, and even though he loves her, he really shouldn't be with her. All this kind of stuff. He's talking about nicotine.
See, that's what I like. That's what I'm saying. That's substance. Boom, callback.
Yeah.
So and then everybody was on the. This is, I guess, when fast rapping or choppers, as they're known, starting to make a real comeback because of Joyner and Logic, and of course Eminem and Tech Nine.
Have you listened to West Coast Choppers?
Yeah. What?
Or West Coast, worldwide.
Like, wait, what?
Worldwide choppers.
Worldwide, yes. I think it's like 3 different parts.
I think I've heard 2.
Yeah, it was the Midwest, and then it was a worldwide. Actually, it's 3. It's they have one with the West Coast, they have one with the Midwest, and then they have one with everybody from like worldwide, and it was crazy.
Yeah, the worldwide choppers, I really like that.
I heard that back in 2013.
Yeah,
that's still on my playlist.
Yeah, I love that song.
Twister, Busta Rhymes, they ate that.
Yeah,
Tech Nine ate that too. It was who was it at the very end? Twisted Insane.
They also had was it Chris Calico in there?
Yes. And then I think Yellow Wolf was in there too.
Yellow Wolf was in there. Yep.
I could not keep up. I was reading. It was like I felt like it was the Japanese subtitles, and I was trying to read it, and it just it wasn't going for me. But yeah, that was Joyner definitely called him lame back in the when they would have had their little beef or whatever.
So how do you feel about that? What was it? It was a Tech Nine, Joyner, and
Sriracha.
Logic. It was on Sriracha. So
Sriracha.
For those of you who don't know, go listen to Sriracha.
Yes.
And
then you got to come back.
what was the other song? Was it? No, it wasn't. It was that.
Was it Speed 'em?
I can't remember because I just remember Joyner was talking about it on that TV show, or radio show, whatever, with DJ Academics and all them on there, and he was talking about how Logic. He didn't like his verse.
Yeah, it rubbed him wrong.
Yeah.
And I understood from an artist standpoint why it rubbed him wrong.
Yeah.
Now, do I feel like he should have had like a full-on beef with dude? No. But I understood how it rubbed him wrong because Logic is known for rapping fast. That's what he's known for. Like, dude can, like, he can really get it. And Joyner was like, yo, this is the perfect track to show out on. Like, Tech Nine, of course, is always going to bring, the fast flow.
Tech Nine was phenomenal.
Oh, he was. He was. Woo.
That was one of his best songs.
I was like, damn. Like, when I finally was able to keep up with it, I was like, yes. It took practice. But, yeah, he was, let down because not only did Logic put that verse off for like 4 months after learning that, Joyner was going to be on the song. Because Tech originally was just like, it's just me and Logic. And Joyner's like, no, you got to let me on the song. Like, this is a really nice song. Like, I really want to show out, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And Tech was like, cool. Joyner did the verse, boom, got it back to him in a couple days. All right, still waiting on Logic. Still waiting on Logic. Still waiting on 3 months go by. Still waiting on Logic. The 4th month. All right, here it is. And this is what you give me?
Yeah.
Like, the verse was 7.5 out of 10.
Like half the verse he was talking about, oh wait, I'm sorry, I should have got this to you a long time ago.
Like, he said that in the middle of the verse, and that's really what
I guess this is how I'm supposed to go and stuff.
I was like, no, you were supposed to come with that super fast rap that you normally do.
Yeah.
And you didn't. And people were kind of let down.
Yeah.
Like, the track is still great, don't get me wrong. All 3 MCs, they really, did their thing. But at the end of the day,
he got carried.
You really did.
He got carried by Tech and Joyner.
Especially Joyner's last like 8.
Oh my God. I don't understand a bit of it, but that's one of the nastiest
It's like
bars ever.
Like
He just goes on, and it is just awesome listening to somebody rap like that. Even if you can't understand it and you're just listening to it,
can't understand a lick.
it just sounds awesome.
Right.
So I got to give Joyner props for being able to put that together.
Yeah.
But yeah, him and Tech did their thing, and Logic's part was just very subpar.
It was just, it very like now. Granted, his last like 4 bars was like his strongest.
Mm-hmm.
The Columbine. Those lines. It was really nice at the end, and I was like, damn, like that's it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I understood, like I said, from an artist aspect, why Joyner felt that way. Like I said, I don't feel like he should have, had a little beef or whatever. Logic was like, I'm not even beefing with dude. I don't really care like that. Like he was like, I don't really care like that. And they patched it up because they actually have a song, on Joyner's album.
That's right.
ISIS.
That's right. So have you had any?
Was it ISIS or was it ADHD? I think it was ADHD.
I can't remember.
I think it was ADHD. Was it ADHD? No, it was ISIS. It was ISIS.
Oh yeah, because they were dressed in like military stuff.
Yes, it was ISIS. Yeah. And at that one, they were killing it.
Yeah.
At that point, that was a really good Logic verse. Like that was a really, really good one. And when you take time to break it down, you're like, damn, okay, he had some really nice bars here, and Joyner had some really good ones, okay. And it was just like, why didn't you bring that to Sriracha? That was my only question. I was like, why didn't you bring that shit to Sriracha? Like,
no telling.
Man. But it is what it is. That's the mantra for the year. It is what it is.
Have you ever had any situations like that with another artist, like trying to bring them on, they just didn't do well?
Oh my Lord. I'm sorry. But I've had instances where I'm trying to bring an artist on. I will literally have the open verse, not charging, not saying, I'm asking what's the feature price or whatever, and I'll get left on red. I've been left on red so much. Like, Twitter is now my infamous place to go to be left on red.
Dang.
And this shit's so funny because they're like, oh, I like your music. I checked it out. And I've got so good now when I'm talking to somebody. Like, okay, so you said you like, let's say from my album Dreams. Okay, you said you like Healing, which is like track 10. Okay, tell me a bar from that song. That's how I get to people now because I'm like, I'm going to listen to you, and I can tell you from your latest single what bar I like, what melody, what key it's in. Okay, cool. So now tell me something if we're really gonna work. And once I do that, I'm left on red.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what did I do? I'm just trying to engage. I don't want to just hop on a track randomly with somebody I don't know anything about. I don't know how your style is. What if I send you some crunk music and you're more of a mellow soul?
Yeah.
Or what if you're a mellow soul and you're trying to put me on something that's talking about some alien, otherworldly stuff?
Yeah.
It's just, it has to mesh well, and if it doesn't, then of course it's not going to work. But in recent days, I stick to myself. And I hate it because I like to do artist collaborations, but lately I haven't. I'm halfway through an album and I've only got one feature. I had to think about it.
So what's halfway? How many songs you got?
I'm at 10 right now.
10 songs? Okay.
10. And I had to learn that less is more, so I'm only waiting on like 3 or 4 more.
I was about to say, it's going to be a while before I put out like a whole... So nowadays, with United Masters, DistroKid, CD Baby, all that stuff.
Of course.
And you can call anything an album. Like the idea of, unless you're with a big name record label like Universal or stuff like that.
Yes.
You're like, when they call that like the first studio album, that kind of stuff is really irrelevant for like unsigned artists. Yes. Because everything we put out can be called an album.
Yes,
like, we just basically have to tell people this is an EP. So for people who don't know, EP is what's it called? because LP is long play.
Yeah.
I forgot what EP is.
It's not exclusive. It's something. It's basically just a shorter version of LP. An LP can go up to 8 to 10 songs. EP is more like 5 to 7.
Correct. Yeah.
And an EP is mainly to showcase quickly what you can do.
Extended play.
Extended play. That's what it is.
Yeah. So the purpose of if you have like one song or two songs, then most people usually don't call that an EP, but usually it's like the 4 songs or 5 song range, and then because you're usually not going to put something out with like 2 songs on it.
Right.
The closest person was freaking what's his name? J. Cole had, was it Unabomber? I think it had like 4. It was the one with Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was doing that dunk on the cover. It was one of those old mixtapes.
Oh yeah.
But that had like 4 songs on it.
Yep.
And then I think, did yours truly have like 6 songs on it or something?
I think it had like 6 or 8. It
was something short.
Yeah, it was really short, and he was just doing it mainly because he still couldn't put his album out.
Yeah. So EPs are short, and then LPs could be whatever you want it to be. Like it's usually long. It's usually longer. It's about 10 songs or so, whatever. But so yeah, now that's kind of irrelevant for unsigned artists because everything can be an album to us. Yep. Because we're just uploading it on whatever service you want to use. As I said, DistroKid, CD Baby, United Masters, whatever. And almost forgot where I was going with this. But basically,
it's like the significance has been taken away.
Yes.
Because back in the day when we heard somebody was having an album, it was like, yo, I got to cop this. I got to get it as quickly as possible. I'm copping 2, 1 for me and 1 for my friend. And if he want another one, I'm getting 3. Like, so back then, of course, everybody was excited.
Buying a physical thing was, that made a difference.
You want to know the last physical album I actually had?
What's that?
The last physical album I actually held, actually it was 2 of them. I had just got out of boot camp, and I had Drake's "Take Care."
Really?
That was the one of the last ones, and I think the last one that I ever had was it Dark Twisted Fantasies?
Who's that?
It was Kanye West.
Oh,
I think those were the last 2, if I'm not mistaken. I believe those were the last 2 I actually could hold in my hand and play in the car on a CD player.
That's wild.
So yeah,
I think the last like big name person album I've had was I think it was like Gorilla Zoe's debut album, and then also it was I think it was Thug Motivation 101.
Jeezy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think those were the last 2 albums. They were actually my cousin's albums. And I probably played those like nonstop. Like
when I first heard Jesus, I think I was in the 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally in the 6th grade. And I'm gonna stack some more. And then I'm gonna stack some more. Like Jeezy came and literally
he's got the best ad libs ever.
Yeah. That one ad lib that lived in my house infamously. Like it literally lived in my house so much to the point where my mom was like, "You say it again, I'm gonna chop you in the face." Like, cause my uncle would come through the house and I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? He'll say something to me and I'll be like, yeah. So it was like we were getting in trouble. It was just funny.
Yeah, Jesus got the greatest ad libs.
It's
the whole album thing has completely changed to music with the streaming services and everything. So that's a whole topic that people
they skip over.
Yeah.
Because even for me, like I want to get my album done, but after December when it's actually finished and I send it off to get mixed and mastered, I'm done with it. I'm not messing with it. I'm not putting it out.
Yeah.
A lot of people assume, oh, he's gonna put an album out. No.
Yeah.
Because it's a singles game now.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, they don't study the game like that, so they just think, oh, let me put another album out or an EP out. Nah, it's a singles game, and it's not. To try to get a big hit is to, attract your true fans, your true audience.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to, to do. And I had to learn that, studying people, learning, what really works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You could put out an album right now, but I guarantee not too many people are going to listen to it.
Yeah.
But if you put out a single, something they could go back to, they'll go back. It's a buildup.
To me, albums now are just like being on like the Lakers or like how the Heat were. Like you had 3 huge people and then a bunch of scrubs.
Like, it was literally like It was like I'm David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations.
Yeah,
It was literally
that's
like that.
to me. That's what albums are because. So I follow some producers that that aren't that big name, but they've got a placement. That's what they call it. You know, when somebody gets a placement, it's basically like, hey, I got my beat. I was a part of a beat in this song, and so he's showing everybody he got this plaque from the album that went #1. I'm just like, that's a thing. Like you get a plaque for being a part of the album, even if the song you were a part of, nobody knows or cares about. You still get notoriety for being on that team. And I was like, that's basically like joining a basketball team, riding the bench
all season,
and then you still get a ring.
Yep. That's exactly what it is, and that's crazy.
That's all albums are today, because nowadays I would say if you make 15 songs on your album, you're probably going to have 2 bangers and 1 song that is a gem. Like nobody knew about it, you didn't promote it, but one person out there loves it. Like, you know, there's some song that's on like a Big Crit album.
Ooh,
and
Slept On.
I absolutely love this song. And I was like, that should have been his single. Like he should have promoted that song. But there's always you're going to have about 2 bangers where everybody knows those songs. And then you're going to have like 1 gem, like a diamond in the rough. The rest of those songs are fillers. Like that's just how the game is nowadays. Like nobody knows, I would probably say 60 to 70% of the songs on your album. They just know those singles that you released, and then that's it. And
that's it. And that is it's a crazy game, because it's true, you know. Because I've done that. I've done that to like other artists. I'll be like, yo, this should have been your single, or, you know, because I'm listening as a fan, you know, I'm like, yo, this should have been your single, or you should have, you know, promoted this a little bit more and not this one. But I get why they do it in a way, you know, that's how they set up their marketing plan or whatever, or, you know, their campaign. That's how they do it. Yeah. You know, a lot of people, you know, they go straight for the banger. Sometimes they want to put the gem out. Yeah. Like, you know, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. It's a 50-50, you know, but if you have your real fans, your good fans who no matter what's going to happen, you know, they're going to have your back. They're going to buy your stuff. They're going to, you know, listen to your music, tell a friend, you'll be all right. Yeah. You know, it might not get super, you know, far, but it'll get to where you want it to get. Yeah. So. And that's why, you know, when I was asking about how many songs are on there, because I was like, dude, don't do more work than you need to. I'm not Big Sean in it. No, I'm not. And then I'm not doing, you know, thinking about a deluxe version. No. Yeah. There's not a deluxe edition coming out.
It's not worth it. Nah. Like if you're going, you know, I've got my own setup where I do all my music here, but if you are going to somebody to record and you're paying them all this money just to do your 15, 18 song album, it's like, dude, how do you even know it's going to be worth that much? Like, you might not, you're probably, I want to say probably not going to get that money back in that album. Yeah. You could literally have just done 3 songs, make them the best songs you've ever done, and then you would get that money back. Yep. But doing those 18 song albums it's not worth it anymore. Not anymore. And that is the truth. That's why I was like, nah, I'm only doing maybe 3 more, and then I'm stopping. I'm putting that to the side completely. That's just gonna be tucked away, you know, for when I build a really, really big following, and then boom, we want an album. It's already ready for you. Yeah. Just let me know when y'all need it. We want it in November. Good thing it's July. We got time. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. And somebody I think it was my DJ actually, he had to slow me up and was like, no, you need to study what you're trying to get into for real. He was like, because you're over here, because it's funny because I had 25 songs. Oh, wow. I had 25. So was it just like a 25 for this album, or was it like 25 random songs? No, it was 25 for the album. Oh, but okay.
I knew in my heart of hearts, I knew I couldn't do all 25. I knew that because it was like, first of all, I'm not gonna listen to all 25 of these shits. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna play it through like 3 times just to be like, oh yeah, I did say that, and then it's just gonna be sitting there for the rest of the life. Nah. So I was like, nah, I need something where people can come back. So I was like, okay, let's chop it up. Okay, let's do an EP here, 10 singles here, and then have an album with 10 songs, or you know, an LP with 10 songs. Cool. You know, we can do that. But to cram all 25 into one setting, try to, you know, promote the single or have 3 singles, and nah, it's not worth it. That's more money wasted than anything.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it. Especially if you're not like a big artist or you have a label or an investor or somebody backing you and you're really out here doing it independent, you're writing, producing, you're putting all of this money into that, and then you turn around and you have 25 songs and 1 album and you don't see too much from it.
Yeah.
That's a letdown.
I mean, I would even say with Scorpion, like the Drake, he had the A to B. I would probably say 6 of those songs everybody knows.
God's Plan, the March 24th one, Mob Ties.
Was that birthday song on that? On one of those?
I think it was.
It was something like birthday song he had. It was, you know, it was a ladies type song.
And what was it? The Kiki, Do You Love?
That was on that one?
That was on there. And then was that 4? And there was like 2 more.
He didn't have many that like, I guarantee you everybody could be like, oh, yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
And that was a 2-disc type thing.
That's why him and 40 said, no, the next album will be 7 songs. He's like, no, our next joint will be 7 songs. And
he was talking about making it like a playlist. He was like, oh, this is less of an album, more of a playlist.
Right.
I don't know if that was Scorpion. I remember he said that for, let's see, there was Views.
Views was long too.
Yeah, Views was kind of long. But I will say Views had a lot of hits on it.
Yeah, like, it gave Drake his real pop feel. Like
Views, I would say there are probably, if there were 14 songs on that, I would say most people would know most of the songs on it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Every single one of those was good.
What was it? It gave us Controller. It gave us, was Hotline Bling on there?
Yes, yeah, I think it was,
yep.
yeah.
Which garnered 1 billion YouTube views. Like, that's crazy.
I was listening to NBA. No, yeah, it was NBA YoungBoy. He was talking about. I had, I don't know, like 16 songs on here, but I think I might put 20. I was like, why?
But he has the fan. But see, NBA YoungBoy has the fan base to do that kind of deal. Like they just said, what was it on Twitter? I saw it like earlier today. It was like he gets YouTube views, like 8 million views a day.
Dude, Jesus.
I was like, what the hell? Like, what am I doing wrong? 8 million a day? That means
that's insane.
That's literally like, and when you add up the checks, 8 million a day, it's like 8 million, 16.
Doing nothing.
It's like doing.
They're just recouping the money.
Nothing. And, you know, so if you have the fan base to do that, you could do that.
Yeah.
Think about it. Big Sean just came out with like a 23-song album. And it was number 1.
That's so crazy.
He could do that. You know, everybody was anticipating that.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, he has a label backing him, you know. So, of course, he can do that kind of stuff. But like I said, if you're a smaller artist, it's not going to really benefit you in the long run.
Correct.
Like, they'll come back to it after, you know, you've made it. And they're like, yo, I should have been on, you know, did you hear track 25? No, I'm still on 32. Like, I think one of my friends did that. I think he made like 44 tracks.
What?
No bullshit. Like, I have to ask him, like, how many did you make? Because I know it was like in the 25 to 40 range. Like,
do streaming sites have a limit on how many songs you can put on an album?
I don't think so. I'm not entirely sure.
I didn't even think about that till now because, like, I think the average CD was like, it was about 18 songs if you have 3-minute songs.
Except Confessions, ladies and gentlemen. Except Usher's Confessions. It was like 22.
So I don't know. I've never had an album that
I've never had an album that's that long.
Yeah,
so
I don't have a clue if they make a limit. Because I mean, technically, if you upload an album, it could be a playlist. Because they make, you know, especially Spotify, they make playlists. So
you know, Spotify's about to pay artists less. Did you see that?
I heard about that.
Oh, you got to see that.
So it was, you could pay them to up your plays more and then they would pay you less.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
That's kind of how it is. And
so like they were trying to help unsigned artists get their music pushed more. Like they were like, hey, we're going to stop playing all these big name artists and then start playing like all the unsigned artists, but we're going to pay you less money.
Yeah, and that's still a lose for the smaller artists. It's still a lose.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. Like I said, you know, people like Drake, they're streamed 1 million times a day.
Yeah.
You know, Kanye, even though he's kind of Kanye, he's still getting streamed at, you know, 1 million or 2 million a day. Like, you know, there's still going to be the heavy hitters, you know?
Yeah.
And to be honest, we really just need to kind of build our own thing strictly for independent.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. Oh, why would we do that? Well, think about it. It's hard trying to eat versus, you know, Wayne, Drake, Crit, you know,
because you're competing against them.
Yeah, it's really hard to, you know, compete against them and their fan bases. Good God, that's some good luck with that one. I
personally think that, so have you heard of Submit Hub?
I think I have.
So Submit Hub is a website where you can put your music, you create a profile, you got your music on there, and you can send it to like curators, like people who make playlists. You can send your music to them, or you can send it to like Instagram influencers, so that they'll play your music. And you have to pay money to have credits, and then you use those credits to send it to them.
Yeah, I have heard of them. And when I saw that, because I had like, it literally popped up on, I think it was on Instagram, and it popped up, and you know, you kind of do your research on it. And I was like, that's pretty cool, but it's like, do I want to pay that many credits just for them to, you know, do that? But lately, what I've been trying to do is go straight to the source.
Yes.
Straight to the playlist curator. I got like their emails, like, you know, you have to dig for that kind of stuff. But you also have to be mindful to do your research on them too.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't want to just do like all of these spamming people do. Like DJ Payne one. He literally was like, I saw it before I walked in the door today. He was literally like, I just fire spam right back at them because somebody sent him a beat pack, and he was like, well, I'm going to send it right back to you. So it was funny.
Oh, my God.
He's hilarious. But, yeah, like.
Have you seen the DMX one? Oh, man.
Oh, wait, the DMX scam?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's just been Instagram. I'm not positive.
It's just Instagram.
Is it just Instagram? So this one chick, she had posted it, like her conversation with DMX, and I just commented. She was like so happy about it, and a lot of people are like posting like the arm emojis and stuff like this. And I was like, all I said was, yeah, that's a scam. And then she was like, she said, where's yours then, or something like that. I was like, I just went to a conversation where people were already posting their conversations with DMX. And I just screenshotted her and then sent them to her, and then I tagged her in the conversation. I was like, I haven't contacted DMX. So
like me personally, no.
You are correct. I don't have one. But there's like 4 other people who have been talking to DMX. So you're not special at all.
Nah. And that actually, you know, it happened to a friend of mine. He was talking to, you know, one of the, you know, big wigs, and he was like, yo, they're trying to put me on and da-da-da-da. And I was like, nah, something just doesn't feel right. First of all, even if their account is managed by like their manager or something, they're not going to message you through Instagram, people. Like, I just want y'all to understand it. They're not coming to you through Twitter. They're not coming to you through email. They're going to call you, literally call you. They're going to find your info somehow. Especially if you actually have it named right, if all your social medias actually have all your proper information or whatever, and they're going to comb you through.
They'll find a way.
They're gonna find you, and they're gonna call you. You're gonna get that call like, "Hey, this is so and so from Lysol Records. You know, we heard about you in this song." They might even play your song in the background. And on top of that, you're not gonna have to put any money towards anything because they want you. They want your product. They want what you bring at that point. You know, so they're trying to buy into you. So they're flying you out, and that's probably gonna be, you know, economy, but you getting flown out, or excuse me, flued out, as the kids like to say, flued out. You're getting flued out. You know, the hotel is going to be on them. You know, they're going to get you all the way to the meeting. You know, the food is going to be on them, and they're going to sit you down in a room, and they're going to tell you, look, we like your song, this, that, and the third. But they're not going to contact you on the damn Instagram. Like, no, what? No. And I saw that. I think I saw that post. I think I hearted that because it was funny, but I ain't had time to laugh. I was like, no. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think people just want to blow up so bad.
They do.
And when anybody contacts them, they're just so ready to just jump on it. Yep. Like, I think
it was one with Fetty Wap.
Oh, dang. Fetty Wap was
Yeah, it was one with Fetty Wap.
Dang.
It was one with, I know about the DMX one. It was another one. Shoot, who was it?
Somebody, dang, I was about to just start talking, then I forgot the person as well.
It's like, there's one more, and they've been, you know.
Somebody said DeBrat contacted them.
Okay, first of all, people, let's understand this. Let's understand, wait a minute. Let's understand this. DeBrat, I love DeBrat. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think she's the kind of person that's going to contact you through social media. Most of them don't even have their phones.
Yeah.
Like literally, they have assistants for that. They literally have an assistant for an assistant. The assistant, the smaller, has to approve the picture, then send it to the regular assistant who's like, hey, is this picture of you okay to go on Instagram or Twitter? then they ask the artist or, whoever, yeah, you can post that. Cool. Yeah. Except Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? He posts whatever he wants.
There's no way he is running his Twitter. I say that, number one, so at first I thought for sure he's doing it. 'Cause I was like, this is the dumbest tweets. And then he was live tweeting during one of the debates. And I was like, what? Because I was looking at the tweets and I was just going through Twitter and I saw a tweet from Donald Trump and I looked at my phone.
You look back and
looked back at my phone. I was like,
are you tweeting right now?
I was like, oh, he's not running his Twitter. And then I've seen some other tweets, and it kind of sounded like something somebody would say for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, he's not running his Twitter at all. But people get triggered from Donald Trump tweets. And this dude's not running his Twitter.
Nah, not at all. Like, a lot of them aren't. Like, it was a video that I saw Logic, and he told somebody, hand me my Twitter. I was like, what? Like, you got somebody to manage your Twitter? Let me find that person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, buddy, here's my Twitter. Here, you do what you need to do.
Yeah. I mean, to me, okay, I get it. You're probably busy or whatever.
Right.
But I would want, even if I was at that status, I would want to run my own stuff because I would want people to know it's truly me. And you might be too busy to reply to everybody.
Oh, yeah. You are not going to reply to 53,000 comments.
Yeah. But at least you could reply to maybe 10, 20, and people would know it's you based off of the responses.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Subbro? Yeah, I think he goes by like one Subbro. It's like @1Subbro on his like Twitter and Instagram.
I have not.
Yeah, he phenomenal beat producer. If you need some beats, I would check out his BeatStars.
Gotta go check that out.
But
I live on BeatStars.
But okay, so I'll say this. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I am not a fan of you having a conversation with somebody who's like a big name and then posting it for everybody to see.
Yeah, that's it. It's like what happens between y'all is supposed to be between y'all because not everybody is going to receive the same treatment, and it kind of makes people feel just a little small.
Yeah. Like
it's like you're showing off in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm about to get on and I'm about to be on this pedestal and you're not, it's kind of a look down.
Yeah.
And people don't like that.
To me, it says you're not ready to be big time. Because you don't see Kanye posting a conversation he had with Kid Cudi, all the music they were putting, or you don't see all these other producers like, so-and-so gonna hit me up, or Lil Wayne hit me up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see them posting their conversation because they already know. Like, they're already in that echelon of music, so they don't need to tell other people about what's going on. Yep. So to me, I think if you want to be in that level, you got to act like, they say act like you've been there before.
Yeah, you got to.
You got to act like you've had that kind of conversation before, or else, if reason why I brought this up because Subbro did this. Yeah. He, what's his name? Rod Wave. Rod Wave hit him up on Instagram. And very short. So I was kind of sketchy about the conversation because Rod was very short. He was like, what up? You nice.
Nah, when they say stuff like that,
stuff like that.
Nah, when they say stuff like that, it's not the real them, because the real them don't sound animatronic.
Yeah,
like they don't sound like that. You know, they're still people, so of course they're going to they're gonna say people things. Like robots say quick stuff like that, like "you nice." First of all, that's not even a whole sentence. So I'm immediately deleting this conversation before you hack my stuff. You know, so nah.
Yeah, I don't remember like exactly what he was saying, but he was pretty short. Like everything he was saying, he was asking him, "Are you in the ATL?" Stuff like that, and I was like, "Okay, I get it. You want to tell people, and show people, hey, I'm coming up." People like big names like Rod Wave are looking at me, but in my opinion, I don't think that's just the right thing to do, because number one, what if Rod didn't want anybody to know, and maybe he sent it by Rod and was like, "Yo, can I post this?" I don't know. I don't know the situation. But
even then, I would say, nah, tag him. At that point,
exactly.
At that point, tag. If it's the real them, tag him.
I don't think he tagged him.
Nah, I would have tagged him.
He did.
Like the whole DMX thing, I would have tagged DMX just to see. Like if this is the real you, let's go in the comments and see if it's the real you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when those scams go on and you tag the real person will answer. And it won't be what you think they're going to say. They'll be like, "I don't even know you." And that, people don't want to deal with that embarrassment, that humiliation. They're like, "Nah, that's embarrassing." This day and age, people can't handle that kind of embarrassment. Like, I thought I was going somewhere. Maybe I'm not going. Like, people's egos nowadays are so fragile, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So just imagine, I'm talking to Jay-Z or whatever, and then I go to tag the real Jay-Z, and he's like, "Bro, I don't even know you. Like, you're not even on my radar as an artist right now." Crushed.
Yeah.
Your insides is just gonna shrivel up. Like,
for real.
It's gonna look like the Grinch's heart. Like, I hate everybody. So
speaking of this, I actually saw some guy post a random tweet, and it was a really cool question he asked that I'm asking you right now as I'm thinking of this question. He asked, "Who's the most influential / famous person you've ever had a conversation with, and how did it make you feel?"
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good question.
That's a really good one. The only celebrity that I've ever really just ran into, and that was by complete accident, was The Rock. It was the only one I've ever really just ran, into. And he was really cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Took a picture with him and everything when I was out in Cali. He was really cool. He's really as big as he really looks.
What was the situation?
I know I was in LA. I was visiting with my ex-wife at the time. And we were I forgot where we were. It was like a weird like club or something. Well, the club's not weird. It's LA. Everybody's weird. But we were somewhere out, and you're gonna run into celebrities in LA. It's inevitable. Like, they try not to have you run into them, but it happens. And boom, Rock ran through the door, and I was like, "Oh snap!" It's like, "Oh, it's the real you." Like, yo, I used to watch you as a kid. Like,
you really there?
Like, you're really here. Like, yo, SmackDown versus Raw. You remember that? Like, you know,
if you smell,
like what? Tuesday night, Monday night Raw. Like, come on, like, he was just like, glad you're a fan and stuff, and it was just, he really didn't say too much. It was just like, you want to take a picture or whatever. I was like, of course, took a picture with him. But
was he just there chilling?
Yeah, it was just minding his business, and I don't like to bother people like that because you're, like I said, you're a person too. So I know you're there to just chill out, have a good time or whatever. So I'm a fan. Hey, can I have a picture? Cool. All right, I'm gonna leave you alone. Good talking to you, Rock. Pimp out.
That's dope. So,
but that was the only one so far that I've met. And
so nobody else that made an impact on you?
Nah, it's a lot of people that have made an impact on me. Like, if we're talking music wise, it's a lot. Recently, it's been I've been studying,
somebody that you had a conversation with.
It's like,
even online, nobody.
Like, DJ Payne one.
Oh, okay.
I've had a whole conversation with him, and he's a really cool dude.
Okay.
And he actually produced the single that's out for me right now called "You're a Star."
Nice. And
the conversation was when I was emailing him or whatever. I was like, when I'm done with the song, is it cool if I send it back to you? Most people just be like, "Oh, I produced the track for him. That's it."
Really?
Yeah. A lot of producers will do that, and that is bad business because if I'm an artist and I don't already have a set like producer, like in today's world, it's weird for an artist and a producer to actually just be set in stone together, like Dr. Dre and Snoop, or Doc and M, that kind of deal. But with him, it was just like I felt that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're emailing, you know, because I was on his email list. And, you know, of course, I'm pretty sure he talks to like plenty of other artists, you know, on a day-to-day basis. But he actually took the time to email me back, tell me, look, I want to hear the song. I want to hear what you've done, no matter if it's good, bad, ugly. I'm going to give you my critique. And, you know, he was just really letting me know I'm going to be upfront with you. I don't have time to lie to you. And I sent him what I did back, and he was like, he loved it. You know, he was like, it's a really good, he was like, you did really, really well. So I was like, cool. So for me, that put in my head that not all producers are like that. Yeah. And, you know, they actually do care about the finished product, you know. And since then, he's just been like, look, you know, whenever you need something, just let me know. And I was like, boom. So I hit him up. And I just emailed him today, actually. Nice. Yeah, we were just emailing a little bit a while ago. Okay. You know, like I said, really cool dude.
So how'd you get in touch with him?
Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, Twitter. Twitter.
Twitter. Did you just know like music he had produced, or were you like looking for music and then you like, who's DJ Pain One, come across him?
That is literally how I was on Twitter. Okay. When I got my Twitter back, I had like 800 followers. No, scratch that. I had like 400 followers, and I was following like 1,200 people. And to flip it was me trying to build all the connections that I needed, all the network, all the people that I've, you know, reached out to, I'll comment on, you know. And I was looking for a producer because at this point I'm done with, you know, my tour because of COVID. And I'm like, okay, I need to get back in the studio. I need something fresh. I need something that can get me there. Yeah. And I'm on Twitter and I'm looking and boom, I run across a post that he had posted. And like I said, he was making fun of, you know, the spam people, you know, here's a sample beat pack. And, you know, it was just funny. And I was like, who is this dude? DJ Pain One. I've never heard of dude. So I went to his Twitter and boom, I'm going through a lot of his beats. And I'm like, whoa. Like, this is some wavy stuff. Like, I like that. Found out he was on BeatStars too, which most of them are. I was like, okay, cool. Went to BeatStars, and I'm just going down his catalog, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the beats. I'm making up quick 16s and 12s, and I'm in the house, me and my little baby, we going. It was crazy. And then that's when I ran into the Your Star. And boom, I messaged him, and we took it to the email, and boom.
Nice.
So, yeah, he's actually got... If he's watching or listening, but he's got like 4 or 5 tracks on his album, like 4 or 5, might be 6 now, because it's like it might be 6. Like 6 out of like 13 is DJ Pain.
Nice,
so that's pretty cool.
That's what's up. Yeah, Flight Pilot D, he's a guy out in Dallas that me and him do a lot of music together, and he wants people to know like I'm his producer. So that's what. We're actually going to start working on a project. I wanted to do all like club bangers.
Come on. You wanted the Drake feel.
Like I want to do, but the thing is, some of my favorite music was like Travis Porter.
What?
Like that.
All the way turned up?
Dude, that type of music I felt like was life-changing for some people. It was like that was your lifestyle. Was Travis Porter?
It was
like Waffle House, like like that stuff, and Bring It Back. God, what was the other song they had that was a club banger?
I think that was it. Didn't they have a dance song? No, they didn't have a dance. It was something like it though.
Shoot, I can't remember. But then they also had like what's his name, Roscoe Dash. Him and Waka Flocka, that No Hands song, Wale was on that.
Whew,
like that era. See, I was in college then, so that was about 2010 to 2014. Yep. That era of music was like a lot of club music. Yep.
It was vastly underappreciated, everybody. Yes. It was not appreciated as much.
That was like when Migos were first coming out. They had Hannah Montana, Versace, like all that stuff was coming out. But yeah, that's what I want to do. Is like all like club music where you feel like throwing some money, girls are shaking it. Like I want to do probably like 4 or 5 songs of just all that kind of music because that's what's going to get played.
Right,
like,
that's true.
People are going to play it over and over again, and we can do like 2-minute songs or 5-minute songs. Where it's like 6 features on there.
Nobody goes and does those anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, which I really want to do that. As you said, I'm a network kind of guy. Like I want to network with people, so I really want to put together like a 6-feature song. Like Let's see. What was it? Welcome to Atlanta was like that. Do you remember that Touch It with Busta Rhymes?
He had like 4-part remixes. Like it was so crazy. I just listened to Touch It because of that versus battle he was trying to get into.
Oh.
And I was like, hold on.
Did he ever do one?
Nah, not yet.
I saw, what was it, DMX and who's the other person?
No, somebody else.
DMX and somebody had a versus.
Was it DMX and Snoop? Yeah, it was DMX and Snoop.
Was it Snoop?
Yeah, it was Snoop.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's it's weird.
Yeah.
And then it was Ross and 2 Chainz.
Really?
Yep, Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. I watched that whole one. That shit was funny.
I didn't see that one.
When the strippers came in, I died.
What?
Yes, 2 Chainz brought strippers.
Wow.
Rick Ross was getting a massage.
Oh my God.
I was like, what type of shit?
Because the verses with DMX and Snoop, that was just like in a studio.
Yeah, they were just in the studio by themselves. Just
Yeah.
they were playing each other's music. Snoop was smoking like he normally does.
So what was the Ross one?
The Ross? They was literally like side by side. And
Can we look this up on YouTube?
I was you can look it up on YouTube.
That is hilarious.
That's
I have to
crazy.
see this.
What was the last versus battle? It was 2 female singers. Was it Brandy and it was Brandy and somebody? Snap. I can't think of it.
Monica.
Yep.
I just typed in verses and that was one of the ones that popped up.
Brandy and Monica. Yep. Lord, I forgot about that. That used to be my speed music.
That's funny.
That used to be my speed music right there. Flying down Austin P. When they finally upgraded it to 50 miles per hour. I was going 75. Yeah, see, they were just in the studio. It's crazy. He ain't sung that song in so long, and you can tell.
I'm guessing 2 Chainz is already gone because there's a lot of money on the floor.
Yeah, 2 Chainz already did that. I'm a boss. I caught a cause. It's going down. I'm a motherfucking crown. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
and that is
I really love that idea, how they did that versus stuff. That was really cool.
Who am I still waiting? Honestly, I want to see one of it's got to be some goats that go head up, to be honest. Like, I want to see the people who've got like the most hits go up against somebody with literally the most hits. I want to see like Drake versus Wayne. Like, to be honest, that's just me.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're both, best of friends. They could do that just for, shits and giggles, but that's something I would like to see.
Yeah.
Somebody who I know has constant hits. Every time I turn on the radio or something like that, like from like 2004 to like 2009, all you heard was Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
He was literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Between him and T-Pain. And T-Pain has the world record for the most features.
That's why he was Lil Wayne would always be like, "It's the remix, babe."
Yes, it's lit.
He was on every remix.
He had to let you know, like, look, I wasn't on, like Ludacris said, I'm not on the original version, but I'm on a remix, and you need to know that. So yes,
one of the funniest beefs that actually like brought out some good stuff was Tory Lanez and Joyner Lucas. Because Tory started it by saying he was the best rapper and nobody could compete with him. And then Joyner was like, I'll battle you.
Joyner was like, I don't know about that one, but we can see.
Yeah. I think Tory got him. I think Tory's stuff was better. And it actually surprised me.
Yeah.
Like, I knew Tory could rap.
But it was just like you didn't know he was doing all of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that. But like I said, it's all about what you can get out to the masses. Nobody's going to take Tory seriously if he starts rapping like that.
Yeah.
But if he's singing melodies, it's a lot easier to gravitate to. Think about it.
He does a good job at
he does a really good job at that. I hate what he's going through right now, though.
Yeah.
know?
What is that whole thing with Megan Thee Stallion? Is that right?
Yeah, apparently he shot her in the foot, so everybody's saying, now, I wasn't there in the car, I'm not security, I'm not a cameraman, so I don't know if he actually shot her or not. But I didn't, when I first heard it, I was like, it's got to be more to the story. People ain't, but then I'm from Memphis, I got to think about it. People are shooting people for fun. Like,
That just sounds really weird.
It does. Like,
why would he shoot her of all people?
In the foot on top of that, like, in the foot?
Yeah.
Like,
That's a really weird story.
It's a really weird topic, and everybody's been trying to pick it apart and play detective. You know how them internet detectives are.
Yeah.
I went to the CSI crime school of my couch, so I can tell you exactly what happened in this crime scene. And I'm just like, look, we don't know until they go to trial and they get it sorted out and get more, evidence on what happened. But like I said, I hate it for both of them. I did hate that, she was injured that way. I don't condone any type of violence like that at all because, like I said, everybody wants to go home unscathed. They just want to go home. And, I hate if he did do it, boy, they about to get you.
Yeah.
Because judges are sick of this shit. I just want everybody to understand, judges really are tired of this. Like, they throwing whole 999 years.
Yeah, for real.
You are literally going to rot in jail twice. People don't, like I said, it's consequences.
Yeah.
So I do hate that situation for both of them though. Because everybody felt like Tory had poor timing for delivering that album and he addressed the situation and was like, y'all saying I did it, okay, show me the real proof. Where the bullet wounds at? Like, the entrance exit wounds, like, show me the proof. And Megan was like, look, he shot me, point blank, period. And like I said, it's like when you were in elementary school and, you were trying to, piece together, bits and pieces of your friend's story. Until somebody who was actually sitting right there comes and tells you what happened, you'll never know.
Yeah.
So right now it's just up in the air.
Yeah. That's a big problem with being that famous. Like, anything anybody says becomes true. Like, even if it has no remote.
None. If I saw it on the internet, it's true.
Yeah. That's sad.
Like, I remember when people were going through like those RIP things on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they said Jackie Chan was dead and Jackie had to tweet like, I'm still here. I ain't gone yet. Like, So I hate that, that people really do have to go through that kind of deal. And they all say it. This is what we signed up for.
Yeah.
This is what we're prepared, we're prepared to deal with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but just seeing it on the internet, it didn't make a lot of sense, but it also didn't make any less of sense. Because like I said, I'm from Memphis. I know people who've shot other people for less.
Yeah.
Come on now. Like, you can turn on the TV right now. There's just been a shooting down here on, like...
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, why? So, yeah.
So with all the shows that you've been doing in the different areas and then also have coming up, would you say that Memphis is your biggest area, or are you bigger somewhere else than you are here?
All right. Now I gotta brace myself for this one. All right. Gotta straighten my hat. All right. Memphis, Tennessee, listen to me and hear me well. Y'all are literally my biggest support ever. Like, there's no place like home. And a friend of mine had to tell me that because I did live in Nashville for a couple years. And he was like, bro, you're never really going to take over your city unless you live in the city. Like, people won't really just be able to interact with you if you live in Nashville. You come down here for a show and you leave the same night. Like, they're not really going to interact with you. You're not really going to have that homegrown feel.
Yeah.
And I've been here my whole life. So it was like, he had a point. So I moved back, and ever since, Memphis has really shown me a lot of love. My second and third biggest places, I think they're like a tie, would be Seattle, Washington. Believe it or not.
Really?
Seattle, Washington. Yes, I had a show in Seattle. I have to show you the video after this. And I made this one girl go crazy for the song that I did. It was nutty. Like, it's on my Instagram and everything. Krisiz Jay, for anybody who's listening. And if you look at her, my nephew was there. And he had never been to a show that I've done. And a friend of mine named C-Mac, he had invited me to come all the way out. Because he was like, yo, you messed with me, the last time you were here, can you come back? I was like, of course. And I flew out there. It was the dead of January. It was freezing. It was snow. It was ice. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like Seattle in the wintertime, so don't invite me to no shows. I might not come. But when we got there, it was really cool. The venue was nice. It had it had a downstairs, like a little basement area with the pool tables and stuff, and it had a stage in the middle. And I was the first to perform because I had to be back on the flight the next morning. Okay. So I had to go first. I couldn't go last because that show was really long.
Yeah.
And I got on stage, and I was like, yo, I'm from Memphis. And it was just like, woo. Like, at first, it was just like,
yeah,
that's cool. And as soon as I started like performing, they were like, "Oh, he's from Memphis, yo!" Like they would start going crazy.
That's
like
dope.
it was really nice. And then the last song I performed, I love doing it because the last like 30 seconds is like I need everybody in the building to turn up with me, and they literally go crazy.
Nice.
And this one girl, like she was like doing her hair crazy. She was doing a gypsy dance. It looked like she was on some type of medications and shit. And my nephew caught the whole thing, and it was just like, I love y'all. And ever since then, everybody from Seattle that I've ever interacted with, they're like, yo, I think I kind of heard of you.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. And then the other place that I'm big at is Tampa / St. Pete.
Okay.
So shout out to Tampa and St. Petersburg. Shout out to my boy Matt and Steve. They originally got me out there. And I met them through Instagram. I met Matt a year like prior to me actually meeting him in person.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm thinking about doing this podcast and, putting it on YouTube. Would you ever be interested to, come out? I was like, of course. And once I started doing shows and everything like that, and then I told him about the album, he was like, look, we've had like 6 or 7 artists come through. Do you want to come? I was like, of course. So, I came out to Tampa or whatever, and I actually did a like an in-studio version of like 4 songs. And that's on YouTube as well, you know what I'm saying? Krisiz Jay, and they loved it.
Yeah.
St. Pete loved it. And they were like, well, you got to come back in a couple months for a show. We're having a big show with like just a bunch of genre artists. You got to come.
You got to come back.
Of course, you got to come back. And when I came back, like I said, I said I'm from Memphis, and they're like, woo. It's like, yeah, you're from Memphis. You're not a local. Cool. And once I started performing, boom, it took off. I actually gained like a lot of like fans that night, supporters. And there was this one specific supporter, and I loved her soul because she was so genuine that I performed a song called Nobody Knows. And it was a song that was made for my nephew, the one that I visited in Seattle. When he was growing up, he had it difficult or whatever the case may be. And as he started to get older, he started to become, more mature and everything like that. And he wrote a piece about me. And it made it into a Memphis newspaper about who his hero was.
Oh, wow.
And he started talking about, his uncle. And I thought he was talking about my brother, my late brother. And I got to the bottom, and he was like, no, my Uncle Kerry. I was like, whoa, that's me. I was like, wait a minute, that's me.
Yeah.
And, he was talking about how he watched me grow through all the adversities and everything else like that in life and still make it out of this crazy city and still become something. And I was like, writing.
Yeah.
So I'm writing, and I'm writing like he's writing a letter to me. And once I finished that song was on pause for like a year. And then I rewrote it, and then I wrote a second verse that was thanking him because he was my little hero.
Yeah.
So, seeing him all grown up now and him being successful, and, I was just like, nah, you were my hero. You were my inspiration to do better. So thank you. So,
That's dope.
and when she heard the lyrics, she saw the performance, she actually cried. Like, she was in tears, and I was like, wow, like, that's what people feel like when you see that for real.
Yeah.
And it really took a shine with her. And after that, she was just like, if you ever have a show, do you have any place where I could download that song, or, where you going next? And, she keeps up with me, and I try to keep up with her as well. She actually just had had heart surgery, and she's doing good now. I actually messaged her on Instagram. I was like, hey, I'm glad you're doing good. And, she said, thank you. So, but,
That's dope.
yeah. So shout out to Paige. Love her to death. She has a really beautiful soul. So
That's awesome. Yeah. I've got a friend who's been going through some really rough times, and he keeps telling me that he listens to my music over and over again. It's like 2 specific songs that he listens to over and over again. And I'm just like, that's it. Like, I could stop music right now. Because that's all I wanted to do, is just make an impact on somebody's life.
Right.
And be able to just change their circumstances, like just change whatever they're going through and be able to help them out. Because at the end of the day, like, that's what you should be aiming for in music. Is, I mean, I understand it if you get into music just for the money, like, okay, cool. But like, understand that you have the ability to change people.
you do.
I think I was talking to either Savannah or Tori or Montreal. I can't remember. It was somebody recently on a podcast, but I was like, yeah, like, music literally changes the way like people dress and the way people act. Like, you can look at somebody and just by the way they're dressed, you can tell what music they listen to.
That is very true.
Because music shapes a culture.
Yep.
And if you're able to get a message through to people, like through your music, then you can change somebody's life. Like you could make somebody go from living in a bad situation to prevailing just because you made positive music.
Yep.
So that's why I try to. There's a Kid Cudi song where he said, "All the while till I'm gone, I make my words important. So if I slip away, if I die today, the last thing you won't hear about me won't be no apple bottom jeans with the boots with the fur."
Yes.
So I mean, even though he's obviously making fun of the T-Pain song, but he's just trying to make a point. Like, I realize I've got a bigger purpose than just to make some club songs.
Yeah.
I can make songs that actually change people's lives. Yep. Which, if you ask anybody who listens to like hip hop music, Cudi's probably changed a ton of lives.
Oh yeah, he has. Like,
he's gotten if you're emotional, Cudi's probably gotten you through some tough times.
Tough times. My boy Philip can definitely. That's his favorite artist of all time because he's gotten him through some times. He's gotten me through some times. So I got to give him his roses while he's still here. So yeah. So
Cudi's one of those people, as I said, just completely shapes a culture.
Yep. And y'all better hug him while y'all can.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to tell you.
So what you said, you have the that Houston show coming up.
Yes. December 5th and 6th. It'll be in Houston, Texas. So
how much is anything else? Are you getting like slowed down as far as COVID, or is everything still kind of just one show at a time, just kind of smoothly?
Right now it's one show at a time. What I can do and what I can't do. I know a lot of people are opening back up. So I'm just trying to see where I can, go, whether it be like next week I have a show in Memphis.
Okay.
So
where you performing at?
Shoot, I forgot. I got to look at the flyer one more time. I was like, where am I performing at? I gotta look at it. But I'll be there as a special guest for my friend. She's coming from Nashville.
Okay.
And we actually have a song together. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to come on stage and perform?" I was like, "Of course."
Is it on I work like Sunday through Thursday. Are you?
It's on a Saturday.
It's on a Saturday. Okay, cool. I might try to come by.
Okay, cool. You'll have to see it. So that'll be nice. I'm gonna try to go ahead and see if I can get a performance slot too while I'm at it. And then I have a video shoot next Saturday too. So that's gonna be pretty. That's gonna be a busy day. But
nice.
And then after that, I'm just coasting all the way till Loud Fest. So like I said, just trying to take it easy because I don't want to get sick. I don't want anybody else to get sick. Like I just want to make sure everybody's cool.
Awesome. What music do you have coming up? You said you're working on that album. You're about halfway done with it, or a little over halfway done.
A little over halfway done with it now.
Is that like the main thing you're working on right now?
That is the main thing I'm focusing on right now. That and trying to, learn how to document versus create.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
that's a big deal.
Yeah, instead of trying to create so much crazy content, I'm just like, why don't I my life is a documentary as it is. Like, why not? People are getting paid for it anyway. I mean, so I was listening to Gary Vee, and he was just like, that's the problem with a lot of y'all. You should just take your phone right now because you're on it already. You should turn it to you, press that record button, and say some positive shit.
Yeah,
and post it. There you go.
Yeah,
you just created content out of nothing. And that used to be my problem too. But right now, that was the biggest focus. And then now the biggest focus is Loud Fest.
Yeah.
It literally turned from hold on to that album, hold that thought, hold my beer, hold that. And we're going to focus on Loud Fest, giving them the best show, talking to, the sponsors, the A&Rs, just, trying to build more connections. And the more connections I build, I can bring them back to, the people that I mess with, what I'm saying, like you, like Ryan, my other buddy Ryan. I have two Ryans, and just, my team in general and, making sure that we all get somewhere where we're trying to get to. So
that's dope. So, all right. Well, it's been great having you on, man.
I appreciate it.
We'll might have to get you back on some other time and chop it up some more. Do you tell everybody how they can reach you, all your music? and tags and all that kind of stuff.
Whew. All right, so we're gonna do this one last time. like what are you saying? Into the Spider-Verse? We're gonna do this one last time, yeah? Okay, so how everybody can find me, you can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even my email is Krisiz, KRISIZJAY. You can find me literally anywhere with that one name. And
genius, because there's so many people who use like 3 different things. I'm like, dude, make it all the same.
It's all the same. You can't miss.
Yeah.
Like my Twitter is Krisiz Jay. My Instagram is Krisiz Jay. My Facebook fan page is Krisiz Jay. My email is bookingkrisiz@gmail.com. Like, no, I used to do that. Before we go, I used to do that. I had one that was like _crisis, big money. I was like, and the guy who produced, you know, a good little portion of my last album, he was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He was like, "I could not find you to tag you in this post." I was like, "Oh, you missed the underscore and the money sign." He was like, "Change it."
What are you talking about? Money sign.
So, but yes, you can find me at Krisiz. That's everywhere. Krisiz Jay, KRISIZJAY. So. I forgot to, and krisizmusic.com. I forgot that part. Krisizmusic.com. Yes. I have my own website.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, man, for coming on. And yeah, I'm probably about to show you a bunch of my stuff and we can chop it up and everything.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for everybody tuning in and see you next time.
Hey.